I wish it was March 21st, because it'd be the purge and I could eat Dave's feet legally. Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that a rainbow? Do you think there's gold? Alrighty.
Top of the morning to you. I'm a leprechaun, obviously, and if you want me gold, you're gonna have to sing for it.
Is that a normal leprechaun rule?
Not necessarily, but I'm a fun leprechaun. Sometimes I switch things up.
Hey babe, can you help me sing a song to this tiny leprechaun so that I can open his gold cooler?
Sure.
Caleb is dead.
I mean...
Bienado.
Oh, God. Oh, I should have clarified. The song needs to be about leprechauns?
Well, I don't know anything about leprechauns.
Well, boyo, I suggest you watch and explain the entire Leprechaun series to learn a bit more about me people.
Oh my god, they always say stuff like that.
The wee people have their magical ways.
Let's set the scene. Here's a leprechaun in his natural environment, digging with gold and speaking in rhyme while sitting on a set of cave stairs.
Caves are dark and wet.
And gushy.
Do leprechauns live in caves? I don't know. But if you steal his gold, he'll kill you with rhymes.
Try as they will, and try as they might. Who steals me gold won't live through the night.
Like they did.
And also probably rocks. They have those in caves, according to legend. Anyway, here's a drunk Irish guy, which, wow, that's racist towards both Irish and drunk people. Like, for example, I've heard of drunk Italians, like Dave right now, and sober Irish, like me. Eventually I will probably not be drunk, but I'm trying to watch all the leprechauns, so you'll forgive me.
Probably not, but maybe.
Anyway, the stereotype stereotypically stole the stereotypical leprechaun stereotypical gold.
Will you tell me what's going on here, Daniel?
Oh!
Brady.
What's going on here is we're rich. I can't hear you. Gold.
Now, you might wonder how he did it. Did he break into the leprechaun castle cave? Did it require a siege engine? Did he sneak in like Sam Fisher? Send him scrolls claiming to be a Nigerian prince? Well, I guess he can do whatever you imagine because the movie refuses to show me, no matter how hard I scream at it or hit Dave with the DVD case.
That's not what this is for.
All we know for sure is that this Irishman, who finds himself trapped in North Dakota, traveled to Ireland to bury his mother, and at some point during the trip, he caught a leprechaun, which is a little touristy for me. It's like French kissing every single baguette you see when visiting Paris. I mean, everybody does it. Like, tourists do it all the time.
Bon voyage.
Me poo-poo.
But as we all know, this means that the leprechaun had to give up his gold because that's the rules. And not even a leprechaun can break the rules.
A wee person, a leprechaun. I caught him and made him show me where his gold is.
Well, if them's the rules.
Them are the rules.
Oh, and the Irish guy shipped the gold to himself in this urn that he claimed was his mother's ashes, and customs never bothered to check because, ew, ashes are gross.
Not me mother's ashes. I threw it on the ground.
Going through customs is all about confidence, really.
This is my dead mom. Well, he looks confident. So now he and his equally Irish wife are rich, I guess, except leprechauns really hate parting with their gold, partially because at least this one apparently traded his soul for it.
I traded me soul for me gold.
That's not what this is for.
But like, where is he going to spend it? Arcade machines?
Bing pots.
It's the early 90s, so I guess he could be a Street Fighter 2 fiend, but they don't even have an Irish character, though Guile does mention Charlie Nash by name in Street Fighter 2, which is also not an Irish character in the games, but is the name of an Irish boxer who represented Ireland in the 1972 Olympic Games. So, what are we talking? Oh, I suppose the leprechaun could trade it in at a pawn shop or a cash for gold store, but he refuses to part with it, as we'll later see. Gold! The gold is apparently the whole point, which, like, if I was gonna trade my soul for something, I feel like it'd be a mid-range Mazda at minimum, not a bunch of useless, jangly coins. Unless he just loves doing those insert coin pranks that everybody did in high school where you put quarters in your friend's exposed butt cracks. Did you do that?
Booyah!
Did you do that, Dave? Because you always had money. Just shove in butt cracks.
I always had the butt crack.
Oh, that's true.
People were depositing.
Yeah, that's why you had so much money.
Curse his perfect butt.
Cha-ching.
Some of the rules.
He's gonna get people so good. It's like, pull up your pants or I'm gonna shove thousands of dollars worth of gold into your butt crack. Man, I miss high school.
But, gold!
Also, I guess there's no take backsies rule, so they can totally steal back their stolen gold, which is why the wee leprechaun stowed away in the dude's suitcase.
The wee people have their magical
Suitcase.
ways.
That is problematic for me.
But he's not so magical that he can open the suitcase himself, maybe? So he tricks the wife into letting him out by singing nursery rhymes at her?
Please open the suitcase.
Did she actually think there was a child in her husband's suitcase? Does she think her husband used Epstein's plane to fly to Ireland?
This is gonna be huge.
A wee person.
Well, apparently, because her surprised ass flops down the stairs that are apparently within old lady falling distance. The camera zooms in then, like the leprechaun is gonna give us an epic one-liner, but
I smell some tea brewing.
Badass. It is badass.
the Irish man comes back inside. It's like, good news, I've hid the gold, but me wife is dead. Well, I guess I'm gonna feck up this leprechaun with a sick 4-leaf clover / pistol combo. Because obviously, those are Leprechaun's weaknesses.
But I only weakness.
Every Irish person knows all the Leprechaun rules intuitively, in the same way that Dave knows every single kind of pasta because he's Italian.
Super Italian!
And also every slur for Irish people because he's racist. Give me a few Irish slurs, Dave. We gotta make some content.
I don't know if I want to.
No, yeah, just what springs to mind?
Grandpa Potato!
Whatever, fine. Dave's a pussy.
In the wet ass sense, meaning
Gushy.
But the bullets don't fully kill the leprechaun. So the Irish dude hucks the wee body in a box, plops the clover on top, nails it shut, grabs some gas, and has a stroke before he can finish the job.
Burn in hell, you little green bat.
I don't even think it's a magic stroke. I think he's just had a rough night. And now it's 10 years later. And there are rolling hills and knolls and shit. And Jennifer Aniston is like, God, this is not Los Angeles.
All I care about is not LA.
For no reason the movie bothers to explain, Aniston is about to move in with her dad, who has bought the Irish guy's house for reasons also that the movie never bothers to explain. It's a gross house, though.
Great place to store all the rocks and pine cones I'm gonna find.
So Aniston says she's gonna stay in a hotel because the cesspool that is Airbnb hasn't been invented yet.
This is worse than summer camp.
I can suck my own.
Some of the rules.
But then she bumps into a random hot boy who guilts her into proving that she's brave by staying in the shitty house because it's the 90s now and girls are equal now.
This is the 90s.
Sluts.
Are treated equal.
Totally.
Also, this doesn't factor into anything, but I guess she's rich. She offers Hot Boy like $30 for knocking over his paint thinner and also offers to pay for an indefinite hotel stay in town. I mean, is her butt crack full of Irish gold or something? Please show me if it is.
It's dirty, it's dusty. Booyah!
Hot Boy is apparently in business with a large oaf and a small literal child. No, the kid isn't just hanging around. Their business is named 3 Guys That Paint. They're equal partners that are almost certainly violating child labor laws, which could be a commentary on how the Irish, including children, were exploited for centuries, but it is not that. So.
That was almost cool.
They've been hired to repaint the house, but the large oaf blues himself.
There's gotta be a better way to say that.
And after washing the gunk out of his hair, he's seduced
That's right.
into the basement by a child's voice singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Hello?
Why does that keep working? If I heard a child singing from a box in my basement, I'd probably call the cops and or set the whole house on fire.
They would all have to burn.
Unless they were my children, I guess. I have 3 of them. Sign up for my Patreon so they can move out of their basement boxes.
It's a baby cage. How did you get in there?
The oaf knocks the clover off the leprechaun's box, so he busts out of there like Dave when I forget to lock his box. And the leprechaun is just like, so you know, I'm a shoemaker by trade.
Yours could use a shine.
Was that the magic behind the Reebok pump? Leprechauns?
If you're getting pumped for basketball,
I'll bite your ear off.
And the oaf is like, okay, well, I'm leaving. And the leprechaun magics the door shut, but the oaf just reopens it. And the leprechaun is like, shit, my powers are weak.
You only got away because my powers are weak.
I'm too weak.
I can close doors, but not lock them, I guess? That's not until level 3. Need to pour more skill points into stealth.
I need big gold.
Leprechaun RPG would be pretty sweet, though. You know?
No, it wouldn't.
That failed, and the orcs everybody.
Nobody believes the oaf's wild tales of a magical but impotent Irishman who lives in the basement in a box.
Who lives in a box under the basement? Oh!
Green.
When porous is he?
A leprechaun?
But it's fine, because he sees a magic rainbow.
Can we inject a little bit of reality in here, please?
And he takes the child with him to find the gold at the end of it, which just so happens to be inside of a rusty old truck right next to the tetanus.
I've got tetanus.
But hey, watch out! This truck is not magically delicious. It'll give you lockjaw if you try to eat it, but the gold, however, go ahead, down that shit, you oaf.
Hey, can you die from swallowing?
Yeah. As long as you don't literally eat all of the gold, we can spend it on surgery to fix your stupid ass brain.
See, we can go to the hospital and have them operate and fix your brain.
It's American healthcare. We have to show up with piles of gold.
But I'm smart.
Yeah, well, sort of.
Quick, let's go hide the gold in a well until we can schedule your stupid ass brain surgery.
That way people won't make fun of you. Come on, let's go to the well.
In the meantime, Jennifer Aniston is so good at painting. Like, God, paint me with clashing blues and reds, Jennifer. I'll be your shitty cobwebbed house girl. Ooh, I'll even caress your leg like a leprechaun hiding under a truck, and I won't even scratch you. I know you know what that feels like.
I know what it feels like when a man caresses my leg.
You do?
That's right, Jennifer. I'm not violating child labor laws right now, if you know what I mean. I'm an adult. But unfortunately, because I'm not there caressing any of her extremities, Jennifer's dad is like, I think a cat scratched you. And oh, look, I hear one meowing now from inside this dirty
wet ass
hole.
Make that pull-out game.
Let me shove my hand into this dirty hole and see what. Better take me to the ER.
It was a cat.
I hope no leprechauns on conveniently located tricycles follow me into town. Oh, shit.
What are the odds? I know.
The oaf and the child bring a coin to a coin shop to ask how much it's worth. And the coin man is like, let me look at this overnight. Don't worry, I'll keep it in my safe. Shit. A leprechaun is in here, biting my leg and slashing me with his belt buckle like a banned Lucky Charms ad.
Get away from me! This is my first strawberry nibbles now!
I hate when that happens.
I see demons are coming!
I also hate when the leprechaun steals a tiny toy car from my coin shop.
By the luck of the Irish.
But it's cool. The leprechaun shines the dead guy's filthy shoes. Sort of.
Can't have dirty shoes now, can we?
I mean, literally not at all, but shoe shining is like paying Dave's invoices. It's the thought that counts. Sign up for my Patreon so I can think about paying Dave even more. I'll spend even more time thinking about, what have I paid Dave?
Hey, thanks for that.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Cool.
The leprechaun drives the aforementioned toy car way too fast, so a cop pulls him over, instigating a fight and chase that lasts almost my entire life, but unfortunately, not quite.
Kill me now.
And eventually, the cop dies.
Hell yeah!
Are most leprechauns ACAB? Based. Dab.
It's very woke of you.
Also, obviously, this is a shittily written movie. If he was really Irish, he'd talk about how hungry he was for potatoes like way more often, but it's weird that he has all of these one-liners about how it's not nice to make fun of a leprechaun.
It's not nice to make fun of a leprechaun.
Or not nice to steal a leprechaun's gold.
It's not nice to steal gold coins from a leprechaun.
And like, what are you, the morality police? ALALGB, all leprechauns are little green bastards.
Boom. Roasted.
And it's not even a play on words, dude. Leprechauns don't exist, so nobody gives a shit. about being nice to them. You're just saying things. Stupid things. Irish things.
The Mother says we had to go anyway.
Stop.
Well, I mean, maybe I've lacked social awareness. You know what I mean? Maybe I have been a little too mean to leprechauns.
That may be true, but leprechauns aren't real.
Well, you obviously have. You were saying so many Irish slurs when we turned the camera off, and you were like, now that nobody can catch me, I'm going to say, you know, potato or whatever.
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them.
While this is all happening, Hot Boy tells Jennifer Aniston, 1993's Jennifer Aniston,
She was extremely hot.
that she's too skinny and needs to eat more meat slop.
You look a little skinny. You should have some meatloaf. I got plenty, really.
Oh, no.
Which is actually the most unrealistic dialogue in this film, but totally on point for a podcaster in 2024. So it's forward thinking in some ways.
If you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating.
They all head back to the house, and Hot Boy and the gang start divvying up which bedrooms they're gonna stay in. But is that a normal thing for house painters outside of pornos to do?
I'm gonna go check out the bedrooms and find out where we're gonna.
I know her dad was attacked by a cat.
In the American sense.
But that's not exactly an invitation for all three guys that paint to spend the night with her.
Oh, great. While you do that, I'm gonna find my purse and check into a hotel.
Especially considering how little of the house they've actually painted. Although, that would explain why every time my dad gets bit by a wild animal that he finds in a dirty hole, I wake up next to 3 starving artists of various disciplines. Guy's, you know, he's like sculpting clay in the corner. He's like, I heard your dad got bit. Wait, what?
It was a cat.
But before they can all pick a bed in an Aniston hole, Hot Boy goes outside and gets bit by a bear trap. And everybody heads outside to beat the shit out of the leprechaun, like a racist, old-timey political cartoon. Eventually, they shoot him with a shotgun. And Jennifer Aniston, zoologist, exclaims,
That was no f***ing bear.
It was a cat.
They try to take Hot Boy to the hospital, but there's something wrong with the truck.
What's wrong with the truck?
I think I know what the problem is. I hate it when my shit won't start because a wee magical lad is dicking in the engine.
The wee people have their magical
dicks hanging out.
He attacks, and they fight him off. So he flips their truck with his little car using Guinness magic or some shit. And they run away and he follows, but his hand gets cut off in the door. It's a whole sequence. They call the cops, but that doesn't work because the cops called the cop that the leprechaun killed, and Leprechaun does a pretty solid voice impression because he's still got his radio or whatever.
If I need backup, I'll call it in.
And they decide to just give up on ever fixing the oaf's broken brain and just give back the gold that they hid.
You know, I'm something of a...
So Jennifer wanders outside alone and gets the gold from the well and hands it to Mr. Leprechaun, who's like, oh yeah, that's my shit. Where's an exposed butt crack? I'm about to do something hilarious.
Cha-ching.
Also, I want to smell it and stuff.
It smells like me penis.
Oh, baby.
Wow, this tastes incredible.
Me golden, delicious gold.
But he counts his stuff and he realizes a piece is missing because the oaf ate it, if you remember.
It was a cat.
And rather than just wait for the oaf to poop, he jumps out of the fridge.
Wow.
And then he jumps out of the cabinets. Then he grabs a dick from the drawers.
I will grab your dick and balls.
And then he pops out of the fireplace, exactly like Santa.
I ain't no Santa Claus.
But eventually they shoot him sort of dead, but...
Not a chance, me lad.
And he starts f***ing skateboarding. And popping out of the floor and getting shot again. And then his little hand comes out of the phone.
But what I do have are a very particular set.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, time out. We do not know how to kill this thing.
Stab, stab, stab!
So why don't we scoot your dad's Jeep over to the old folks' home to talk to the previous owner of this house, who apparently did not die from the stroke, but also was unable to return and finish the job of killing the leprechaun sitting in the box in his basement for the past 10 years?
What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Was it just not high enough on your priority list, dude? Too much Jeopardy to catch up on? Getting some nursing home strange now that your wife's dead?
What are you going to do?
you. Two chicks at the same time, man.
Do they just not let old people out of old folks' homes? If so, Dave, good news. We have an alternative for you. Hello, darkness. Maybe we could throw you in an old folks' home when I'm done making these videos. What do you think, big guy?
It's a life of quiet dignity.
But in order to escape, they distract the leprechaun by throwing shoes everywhere. Just scattering them about and such. And I mean, he is a shoemaker by trade.
Shiny.
If you were to throw a bunch of YouTubes around, I'd also be scurrying around trying to grab them.
Shiny.
Eventually, the leprechaun gets his shit together and chases after Aniston on roller skates, completing his X Games trifecta because the tricycle counts as BMX. The old folks' home is apparently super Dutch. And when she finds Old Man Grady, as his friends call him, it turns out, whoops, he's actually the leprechaun. A double whoops! The leprechaun can absolutely shred some gnar in a wheelchair, completing the X Games quadfecta.
Dutch X Games?
Dutch X Games. Oh, yes, you are just shredding that gnar.
Skateboarding in wooden shoes.
Shiny.
She ends up in an elevator. Oh, there you are, Mr. Old Man Grady.
I forgot about him.
Old Man Grady is like, all right, so I'm not feeling so good, but I'd recommend putting a 4-leaf clover on the leprechaun's body somehow, and that'll let you kill him.
Freshly plucked.
Thank God for science.
Although again, says who? Is this just another Irish instinct? Where do the rules come from?
Some of the rules.
What are the rules? I don't know, but apparently there's disagreement, because as the leprechaun so slickly one-liners,
Little girls shouldn't look for 4-leaf clovers.
Is that a saying? Is that a joke? Why do you say it like that? What do you mean?
What does that mean?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
You can tell I've picked some clovers before.
Yeah, right. You're naughty.
I'm a bad girl.
Little girls shouldn't look for 2 penises.
There's a brief detour as she stabs the leprechaun in the eye and he replaces it with the dead cop's eye.
An eye for an eye, me dear.
And then he gets shot for the millionth time by Hot Boy.
Another one.
But they found an on-site clover patch. Oh, but Aniston is unfortunately teetering dangerously close to leprechaun atheism.
You've lost your faith.
But then the broken-brained oaf gives her a pep talk.
You just gotta believe.
And oh, look at that. She finds a 4-leaf clover.
I told you.
That's it, Dave. You just gotta believe. Just believe that the check is in the mail. It'll arrive eventually. Don't worry, Dave. The money's on the way.
I believe.
Or you could just bend over a little bit and I'll give you some money right now. I'll give you a little dance.
Cha-ching.
Leprechaun shifts gears and attacks the kid in the barn and
How's your leg?
Look, I don't want to be mean, but Warwick Davis is not the most athletically gifted man. So when he runs around and kicks people in the shins and stuff, I mostly feel sad. Like I think the movie's like, ha, look at this short guy run around. And I more feel like, I wish he had better roles.
That's why we need your help. You found one.
Anyway, then the leprechaun again starts shredding the oaf to get at his coin when finally we get an actual one-liner that I assume was written by Count Chocula.
You Lucky Charms.
I guess then the clover is slingshot into the leprechaun's throat, which causes him to melt and fall into a well and allows Hot Boy to dump a bunch of gasoline and explode his ass. Finally, the cops show up and then Leprechaun threatens the audience with a sequel.
I'll not rest till I have me.
Sequel?
But fortunately, there's only like 7.
Help, it's happening.
I just wanna put my finger inside of you.
Oh, shut your yapper.
Are you Irish?
No,
Just a fan of the culture?
not at all.
Why is the movie from 2018 next, you may ask angrily in the comments? Well, because it's the only movie that actually claims to directly follow a previous movie.
You know about that?
And I'm all about making sure that you fully grasp the beautiful, intricate timeline of the Leprechaun series. Also, this is literally the only movie I actually enjoyed, and I wanted to make sure that you knew such a thing was possible before I drowned you in green clover-flavored sadness like a shamrock shake down a throat. So anyway, this here's a sci-fi original tale that opens with the well death ending of the first movie.
Oh, Jesus.
Cut from there to a double wake-up of a sad girl on a sad bus with naught but Funstagram for company. Her name is Lila Jenkins, and whoever was supposed to pick her up has not. But thankfully the oaf is back.
Good.
Great.
Yeah. And he's been aged up 25 years, and he does taxi stuff now, at least according to the Boogly search engine.
See Roger the Boogly.
Man, I bet this video is exploding on Youth Toots. So many clever different social media adjacent names. We quickly learn Oaf and I aren't that dissimilar.
Are you Irish?
No.
Just a fan of the culture?
Not at all.
Always pushing their pig Irish agendas.
Whoa.
And to be fair, what does Irish culture even mean? Dave, name one Irish thing. Exactly. Also, I learned his name is Ozzy.
Ozzy's taxi.
So I shan't call the oaf an oaf any longer. As it turns out, this girl is Jennifer Aniston, the character's daughter. And she's headed to the house that her mom used to own, but which is now owned by Larimore University. And like an environmental science sorority is fixing it up.
Environment, like the whole environment?
You know about that?
Honestly, even just this setup has taken more creativity than 90% of the rest of this series. Spoiler alert! So anyway, he drops her off, and the first thing we learn is that everybody loves Chekhov's clover juice.
Oh, I love clover juice.
Flavor that coconut penis.
Because for the first and only time, this movie finally grasps what this series is, which is to say,
It's probably for the best, though.
Look, here's a decent Paraprostokian joke.
I brought refreshments.
Also, I got beer.
What is Parapropstokian?
It is a joke that makes you, at the end of the joke, that makes you reevaluate the beginning. So the refreshments meant the boys.
So refreshing.
Yes.
And also a better rhyme than anything the frickin' Leprechaun ever gives us.
You told me to find people that are handy. That's Matt and Andy. That rhymed weird.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but we're back in the club.
I think we're gonna have an okay time here. Apparently, Ozzy forgot his cell phone or something, so he comes back to the house, and for some reason, he walks right up to the well where the leprechaun has been trapped for the past 25 years, while protecting himself with a felt 4-leaf clover, which works about as well as a felt condom, and the well literally comes in his face.
Is that piss? That's cum, isn't it?
That's not just a disgusting metaphor, because 2 minutes later, Ozzy literally bursts the leprechaun out of his stomach.
Behold the miracle of childbirth.
Papa.
And his voice is much higher than it was 25 years ago, but otherwise he seems like pretty much the same dude.
When did I get better looking?
Well, yes, obviously. Besides his massively increased sex appeal.
I've got a lot of to wake up for.
I mean, he's coming now. This is a new leprechaun for a whole new audience. He squirts jizz.
I was wondering how long it was going to be till you said come.
Dave,
or jizz.
I had to. I didn't just say that. It's in the movie. I didn't want to. They made me.
The leprechaun made me.
The leprechaun made me come. Say come, sorry.
That was very Parapropstopian of you.
There it is. That was a lot longer than usual. Let's meet some of Lila's new sorority sisters. There's Katie, who has
a great ass.
And Rose, who has won an award for her good plowing.
The golden trowel.
Oh, also there's 2 boys here. Katie's ex-boyfriend Andy, who like Dave, is little more than a horny idiot.
Only you could make cleaning look so filthy. You do have a great ass.
And Matt.
Hey.
I'm Matt.
Who is like me, a filmmaker, an artist, and not particularly handy around the house.
I'm good with a camera, but don't ask me to fix your sink.
I won't. I'm not good at that stuff. I'm really more of a creative. Sorry, babe. I'm making this instead of helping in the backyard, which is what you want me to do, but I suck at it, so I don't want to.
This is not why we're here.
So anyway, Lila's deal is that her mom had mental health issues.
And then she got cancer.
Oh, double whammy.
That's too many of those things.
So she's dead now. And look out, because...
Sounds like Lila's mother was crazy and that's hereditary.
I am your mother.
All right. Also, there's the mean drunk Meredith.
Well, good night.
Anyway, after a night of pounding legitimate pizza...
Super Italian.
They wake up to find the basement flooded, but it's okay, because Lila spent so much time with her insane mom that she's super good at pumping now.
How's your pump?
I spent so much time taking care of my mother that I got pretty good at pumping.
Clearly.
She pumped her mom good.
Maybe don't mention your mother so much.
She heads out to the shed where she finds Matt, which...
Were you just banging on the cistern?
I bet that's not all he wants to bang on. Am I right?
I don't even know what that means.
Right. Sorry. This thing.
No, I'm not. But apparently the leprechaun's magic is a little weak after 25 goldless years.
Well,
So he limbers himself up by tricking a North Dakota mailman into putting a mailbox on his head, and then the leprechaun runs over it with his truck, which pops it like Dave's cherry.
What the hell was that?
My virginity.
That should put a little pep in his step. It certainly did mine when I did that.
No.
Then, as Lila showers, the leprechaun flushes the toilet, making the hot water run out. This guy's twisted.
For Snapchat.
Even worse, he then tears apart Lila's huge stuffed panda and wears the head.
I killed one, Rick.
And then he licks her leg while saying what I always say to Dave when I lick him.
Fruity and full-bodied, with hints of your mother.
And I'm not sure who's to blame more for this situation. Lila for bombing her SATs and ending up at Larimore University and not getting into a better college.
It's not a real school.
Or Jennifer Aniston for agreeing to send her to live at the same place that she encountered a murderously mischievous monster. Great parenting, Jen.
Wait a minute.
It's probably good that you're dead.
she was.
One evil, crazy bitch.
The leprechaun reaches for her gold necklace, but it burns his hand. And he's like, what the shit? And right as Lila's about to give him the old golden trowel, Andy accidentally kills the power while blowing an air mattress.
Andy!
Then the leprechaun says a Dr. Jordan Breeding-esque nonsensical boob joke.
You got boobs of tall, I mean oodles of talent.
And gets his head just canceled for it. You can't cancel me because nobody's watching.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Then Lila escapes and the leprechaun skitters into Matt.
What the hell was that?
You crackhead! You got hold to the wrong stuff!
And shares a moment with the drunk Meredith, who assumes that she's having
Alcohol hallucinations.
That seems unlikely.
And as it turns out, the leprechaun is still in the 90s culturally, which is kind of a nice touch. It's kind of funny.
A Walkman and a camera all in one. Impressive.
Oh yeah, he's been in a well for 25 years. He might not know Billie Eilish.
Right.
Forget it.
Outside, Lila tries to convince her new friends they're being attacked by a leprechaun, but as we see, it's all in the approach.
It's a leprechaun. There is a deranged dwarf obsessed with money in the kitchen.
What? They should do this in every horror movie. They're not being attacked by a werewolf, it's just a hairy, bitey man.
A spooky, scary.
Not a vampire, a sexy, bitey man.
I became a vampire to suck blood and to forever.
Not a ghost, a demon. They're different, okay? One's like a guy, a dead guy, and the demon's like a totally different entity. You could build your career on one or the other, but both is crazy.
That's when I built my career around helping people get in touch with people who have died, communicating with ghosts.
Great. Yeah. Andy wanders off to piss.
I gotta go take a leak.
A golden shower.
And he encounters the leprechaun, and he gets his ass kicked briefly. And then he impotently chucks some chicken wire at him.
Shut up!
Only for this to happen. Final Destination, this movie is gunning for your crown.
You dropped this.
Honestly, my biggest gripe with most slasher movies is they don't actually focus on creative kills like this. There's a reason Saw and Final Destination movies make so much more money than Halloween or Friday the 13th or obviously friggin' direct to sci-fi Leprechaun.
Do it.
The whole point is it's creative. Getting stabbed by various weirdos movie after movie isn't much of a draw.
We'll see, bitch.
Chop them in half with a solar panel. Run over their mailbox head. Have the monster take out various shady loans in the victim's name, forcing them into financial ruin, then suicide. Have fun with it.
Do you think Andy's dead?
Rose gets separated and has to fight the leprechaun for a while, but she is saved by a bunch of shoes.
That's just offensive. You can't leave perfectly good shoes just lying about.
Watch me.
That's not exactly what I meant.
Just so you know, this is the last time shoes will ever come up in the series, except, I mean, a lot of characters wear shoes throughout the series. I've noticed, I have an eye for this, but they don't, the leprechaun isn't as fetishy about them. So he's not like licking everybody's feet. So.
The Tarantino leprechaun.
Yeah, the Tarantino guy.
A lot of little feet.
Oh, those feet are so small. But you could put that whole foot in your mouth, dude.
Well, I just reject your hypotheses.
Though you know what will continue to come up?
That freaking jaunty hat.
I mean, it's just the jauntiest. Definitely not something a cannibal would wear.
No. I don't think that he's a cannibal.
Really? Anyway, they realize the gravity of the situation they found themselves in, while also recognizing, hey, these are canonically smart women.
We are a bunch of smart women.
Really? So they take matters into their own hands, beginning with Meredith locking Lila in the basement so the leprechaun can kill her instead of Meredith.
A smart woman once said,
He just wants his gold, Lila. Give it to him and I'm sure you'll be fine.
No, Meredith.
Not nice, but definitely something a smart woman would do. Of course, less smart.
I'm super drunk.
Then the leprechaun catches up by sitting on a drone, which Meredith knocks off the road, but also she knocks them off the road, which is very Return of the Jedi. Ewok joke. Actually, wait, was Warwick Davis in? He was Wicket or some shit, right? Not that he's in this movie, but he's in most of these movies, but not this one.
Well,
they crash near Ozzy's truck and do pretty much the worst possible job looking for his keys before the leprechaun attacks again and pulls out Ozzy's eyeball for a replacement. Could he do this with all body parts? Don't take my 2 penises. Meredith gets separated because she's the only one with a deal to not get touched by the leprechaun or whatever. But he TKs a bunch of sprinklers into her face, giving her a blood sprinkler face. Then Matt decides to sacrifice himself because that's what Werner Herzog would do.
Werner Herzog would be proud.
the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing.
Who's Werner Herzog? How the hell should I know?
Unfortunately, he's not as good of a filmmaker as Werner, nor does he have as silly an accent, nor does he have a head. Yes, the drone really is moving this slowly. I'm having fun. The movie is fun.
As long as you don't let it get to your 2 penises.
And speaking of fun, Lila's trapped in the basement, but it's cool. She's hanging out with the zombie of Ozzy, and she helps him tape his guts back in. And he points her to a treasure map where the gold is buried. And also it lists all of the leprechaun's skills.
Wow, super strength, telekinesis, really good impressions. He's like an awful David Blaine.
Hey, David Lame! You.
Or just David Blaine.
Anyway, she runs into Rose and Katie and they're like, let's go get the gold. I want the gold. And hey, look at that. It's in the ruins of the ruined truck from the first movie, except dang it. Rose already knew this.
Because I found it months ago, okay?
And has already spent most of the gold fixing up their shitty house.
I want to know where to go.
This is why owning your own home sucks. You can literally find a pot of gold and it still won't be enough to ensure it doesn't flood or that it won't get attacked by little people.
I only took what I needed for the house project.
1 million
gold coins.
I have a thing to say about trapping little people.
Yeah.
When we were kids, every St. Patrick's Day, we had a tradition where we had to make leprechaun traps.
You are racist towards the Irish.
The Irish are the blacks of Europe. The blacks of Europe.
Oh my God.
Period.
That's powerful stuff.
No, I'm like the guy from Saw.
I want to play a game.
But from their perspective, because it got to the point where me and Christopher,
yeah,
we would build like little staircases and like homes and make it look nice, but we would put like a false stair so the leprechaun would fall and break his ankles and shit, and we'd trap his gold. We never got the gold. My parents put like little chocolate, and we thought this was normal. Like everybody did it.
Does anybody in the world do it except for you?
I don't know. Did you guys do that?
No, we didn't.
Because we brought that
break the ankles of leprechauns. That's the weirdest tradition.
It's the coolest tradition. It's weird.
Is your dad Irish?
I think his like ancestors maybe, but
yeah,
you know, white, you know.
Yeah, all of us whites hate leprechauns. Sound off in the comments if you also tried to murder leprechauns as a wee child.
We were like little kids, like we're hunting them.
Yeah, we're gonna break their ankles so they can't get away, so we can strap them
We
down.
had, like, little spike pits. It was crazy, dude. It was
punji sticks or whatever that they had in Vietnam.
Viet Cong versus the leprechauns.
That would have been a good leprechaun movie. America's like, we're not winning this war. We gotta send in our last resort. We're gonna send in Warwick Davis.
He's like sitting on the side of a helicopter, like Fortunate Son's playing.
Yeah, he's got like the Rambo headband, like a American flag, but like with shamrocks instead of stars.
Draws from his cigarettes, like bad girls don't pick clovers.
Charlie, don't pick clovers or whatever.
Charlie, don't look for four-leaf clovers.
Sci-fi, if you still have the rights, I'll write it up. I don't even care. Tell me, you don't think I could convince like a couple 100,000 people to either buy a ticket or like rent, like stream it on Netflix or whatever?
I love the smell of me gold in the morning.
Well,
there's only one thing left to do. Run forever.
No, silly. Find a way to murder the small man.
We use his strengths against him.
Gold coins.
They realize the necklace is fool's gold, so that's probably what the leprechaun is allergic to, and fool's gold is made of iron. So what did they fill his pot with? Tampons. I've never put a tampon inside me, but is it made out of iron, Dave?
Okay, I don't know. Actually, that just seemed like the right thing to do.
And then they beat the shit out of him with pillowcases and drop the necklace around his neck. And because of the way that I'm presenting these movies, this will feel like foreshadowing, but in reality, they're calling back to a lot of the weird powers and rules that get established throughout the series that also have literally nothing to do with each other. Like movie to movie, the rules all change. But in this movie, they just brought a bunch of them in, I think. So that's why another reason that this one is better. But get excited for what's coming, because it's so good.
We're gonna party through the night until the dawn. Then you and I are gonna get it on.
I'm going to kill myself over this!
Katie restores the power after a very failed jump. And they pump the leprechaun full of Chekhov's yummy clover juice.
Coconut penis.
And even after offering to fulfill a wish and doing a decent Jennifer Aniston voice impression, he pops.
You have to believe me.
So now they need to burn the pieces of his body, but they take too long, so he becomes a series of even littler people who straight up Gulliver's Travels Rose's ass.
I'm invincible.
And head. He then fully recombines, so they electrocute his gold, and also him, and he catches on fire, I guess, and they give him one last limerick.
I've got a limerick for you. Eat a dick, ass baggins.
Really?
And not that it matters, but he said exactly 0 limericks in this movie. And obviously what she said wasn't a limerick. I'm an English major. That's why I'm here right now, instead of at an office making millions by firing people and shelving their creative projects. I'm such a chump. A patsy. Eventually the whole house explodes and Emily gets punctured.
Oh, I think it punctured my trapezius.
And both girls get completely bukkake.
What?
And then a guy from Larimore University pulls up and is like, whoa, what the heck is going on here? But we could ask you the same question, dude. The house is like dozens of miles from campus and it's the middle of the night. What were you coming out here to do, pervert? Looking for butt cracks and stuff with gold?
Yeah.
Booyah! Whatever. Emily's punctured pretty bad. So they hitch a ride with him and the obviously not dead leprechaun hitches a ride to Bismarck because it was mentioned offhand that that's where Rose traded a bunch of his gold for cash. And I'm realizing that with a couple of poorly written sentences, you could totally connect this to the Fargo universe.
You don't say.
But nope, buckle up. It's about to get real bad. Huh?
I'm starting to regret this.
What about those chili dogs?
Ian, you better go.
Alright, forget all that crap I said about enjoying things.
I'm like not having fun no more.
As I say to my family on road trips whenever we're passing through Florida, nothing from here on out is any fun or makes any sense at all.
Florida, 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 Florida.
But those people are, well, they're quite backward.
Hey, look, here's Ireland once upon a time. Back then, there was apparently a dude running and oh, this is a Donald P. Borchers production? Buckle up.
Borchheads?
Borchers! Sorry. The Irishman has a thing on his neck and a leprechaun played by the same actor as the first movie. So presumably the same leprechaun.
Do you expect me to believe that?
Shows up and is like, well, you're my slave now. And the Irish guy's like, that sucks.
Curse you.
because there's literally nothing
More precious to me than freedom.
And the leprechaun is like, well, how about this?
It's the 17th of March, the Feast of St. Patrick.
Which is a thing that technically won't be recognized for approximately 400 more years.
I don't remember where we landed on St. Patty, but I remember snakes were involved.
But us leprechauns have always been ahead of the curve when it comes to recognizing Catholic saints.
Very progressive.
It is also
your
1000th
birthday.
Tis a special birthday for a leprechaun.
Which is again confusing considering he was only 600 years old in the first movie.
That may be true, but leprechauns aren't real.
Anyway, because I'm
1000 years old.
Me, Mr. Leprechaun, that means I can get married.
I can claim me bride.
Leprechaun puberty takes forever.
Forever.
And is disgusting.
Come is not come, Larry.
Although technically, if the leprechaun was a edgelord teenager, that would make the whole vibe and the whole series really suddenly make a lot more sense.
Her bosom so ample.
You seem edgy.
And anyway, he's like,
she sneezes once, she sneezes twice. She'll be me bride when she sneezes thrice.
Sneezes.
And if nobody says God bless you, then I get to marry her. Is this canon?
Must be some sort of leprechaun riddle.
I don't know, but it does give me a chance to talk about today's sponsor, Claritin L. Ladies, have you ever not wanted to marry a leprechaun? Well, talk to your pharmacist about Claritin L and be sure to use code DRBreeding for 69% off.
Can a brother get some Claritin up in here?
Anyway, because he's feeling as charitable as he is horny, the leprechaun is like,
when I am wed, you'll have your freedom.
Great, yeah. And the slave is like, sweet, sounds good. Oh no!
She's my daughter.
The chick you're making sneeze is my sexy daughter who's doing midnight laundry?
Oh, that's hot.
This is what the movie's about?
That's the literal... Somebody sat down and was like, let's begin. You know how leprechauns, they make you sneeze 3 times and nobody says God bless you, you get to marry them, but only on your
1000th
birthday? And they're like, Donald P. Borges, you've done it again. Donald. You can come up with anything.
You have to make them sneeze 3 times? That's it?
Why sneeze?
Why sneeze?
I guess it's supposed to be funny, maybe?
That's not funny.
It's funny.
But like, why would it be?
Maybe that's actually real, man. Maybe that's like what like Irish people thought that leprechauns did.
That's
you know how like medieval shit is like you gotta like piss on a cake and leave it out for a cat to eat and that scares away ghosts.
Anyway, her slave daddy blesses her on the 3rd sneeze.
God bless you, my child. Damn it.
So the leprechaun kills him and is like, I tricked you.
I tricked you to death.
I'm still gonna marry your offspring
on me next 1000th birthday
in another 1,000 years
and claim her as me bride.
And like, okay, the dying part sucks, but he literally said he'd rather
be dead than your slave.
And I'm sure that he would trade his daughter's freedom for the freedom of some ancestor in a literal
1000
years. I don't think the human mind actually could really conceive of 1,000 years into the future.
You end up with full-blown brain scramblies.
Hell, boomers traded the lives of their grandchildren for a chance to own a Hummer.
That is problematic for me.
Anyway. Remember how canonically Michael Myers from Halloween is possessed by the spirit of an ancient Irish incel? Is it Leprechaun? Is that why Michael Myers never talks? Because if he did, he'd immediately bust into rhyme and no one would be able to take him seriously? Are the 2 movie universes connected like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street? If so, sorry for having to share a universe with Leprechaun Halloween.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Now we're in yet another leprechaun lair and we observe a hot girl lineage. A long hot girl lineage.
Come on, hot girls.
It's 1,000 years of hot girls.
Gotta admit, the girl is hot. Yeah, she's a hot girl.
And now we're in yet another Irish leprechaun lair. Los Angeles. Have you been to LA? Are there a lot of Irish there? I live in Virginia and I can't get out. So I just assume I've never been to Los Angeles because I'm scared that there might be Irish there.
Is it really scary?
I mean, I still have night terrors because of that one time I flew over Boston.
I actually know an Irish guy in LA.
Anyway, a hopefully not Irish boy named Cody tries to humiliate some people on the street.
You can wait for her at this really cute ice cream parlor right down the block.
Weenie Hut Juniors!
Into taking a tour around town to where some people died while a girl named Bridget giggles.
Too intense for you, well then, you know.
Let's go to the beach. Can we get a winner?
He succeeds and the 2 head off for their go-kart date, but oh shit, the scary tour driver,
Mortimer, the all-knowing,
is drunk AF.
Morty, let's go. We got a full hearse waiting. Come on.
So Cody has to drive the car himself, damn it. Now, to be fair to Morty, he probably got drunk because he was terrified of this bartender who appears to have eaten like 30 German children. That is not a normal looking man.
I'm sober. Wait.
At one point on this tour, they pass the ruins of Harry Houdini's mansion, where a drunk homeless guy beds down for the night. A nearby tree keeblers itself open, and out pops the leprechaun.
Attention, Keebler. I'm looking for a few good penises.
Who immediately yoinks the homeless guy's gold tooth and adds it to his pot of gold. And to be fair to Mr. the Leprechaun, he's probably pretty horned up from cranking it for the last 1,000 years. Or I guess really the last 2,000 years.
He was trying to
waiting for a fair maiden that he could blast his shamrock shake into.
I have to explode.
Good job, lads.
Now that was quite a load.
I assume Leprechaun Splooge is green. Hey Dave, Google Leprechaun Splooge and let's just tell me what you see.
I'm gonna see if you come green.
No.
Report your findings.
Oh, it's great. It's green. It's
Come.
Oh wait, let me turn safe search off. No, it also looks like jello shots. Green jello shots.
Well, that's disappointing.
I am as dry as can be.
He then heads onto the crowded street and
I like your ducks.
and spins a stick around.
Spin, spin, me little guy.
I'm a little guy.
And then rips a dude's finger off. See? This is what I'm talking about. I don't want to go to Los Angeles and have my finger ripped off by a wee Irish person.
Black Irish doesn't count.
I'd rather stay in Charlottesville, Virginia, where,
I'm gonna go get the tiki torches.
yes, Nazis occasionally have rallies and kill people, but
Fucking Nazis.
okay, well, yeah, it is a tough choice. I'm not confident in my decision, but it is cheaper here.
Okay, that's fair.
Anyway, Cody and Bridget and the four randos he's been driving around all night end up at the go-kart place, except, they're not the only ones. There's also
Ian.
Oh, and Ian is hot as shit.
I'm glad you could make it.
Cody has to finish the tour, so he leaves Bridget, but he knows full well that she's about to be just completely plundered by Ian. I mean, look at him. Oh, she and her loins have no chance. I mean, look at it. It's Ian.
Let's go start our arrangements. Did you change your hairstyle? I saved a special crash just for you.
And Ian actually does drive her home and is like,
You said your parents weren't home.
you trying to blast? And she's like,
I am as dry as can be.
but that's like insane. Well, I mean, and Ian is like,
You're just a tease.
and she's like,
We'll tease this.
I don't know how that makes sense, but I'm proud of her for popping him in the nards, which are probably beautiful because Ian, hot damn.
And what about those chili dogs?
She walks inside and Ian walks away, but then is like, oh shit, is that actually Bridget in the neighbor's garage or whatever, like across the street?
Bridget?
And she's being sexy in there, and he doesn't even think twice about it because she's full on tits out over there, except, oops, it was a classic Irish ruse. And Ian ends up motorboating some fan blades or something. I have been there, man. You just gotta slow down. You motorboat too hard and you could die. Dave learned this the hard way. We don't show Dave on camera because his lips are like all the way like he's Joker smiling because he motorboated so fast.
You wanna know how I got these scars?
Oh, you dirty boy, you. Oh.
But the thought of Ian's pillowy lips motorboating his woman anger haunts Cody up so much that he runs a red light and gets arrested. At the police station, we learn Morty is actually Cody's legal guardian because his parents are legally dead. And they also see the homeless guy yelling about a leprechaun.
I came out of a tree up at Houdini's place.
Hey, homeless guy!
Yeah, that's right.
Morty takes Cody home and orders a pizza that he doesn't even open and literally just throws on the floor.
Come on.
Because you think they had room in the budget for a real pizza that they actually eat? Grow up. This is Leprechaun. Cody hauntily rushes over to Bridget's house to apologize for the whole turning their date into a death tour thing.
Trick or treat.
And she's like,
This is a surprise.
which, I mean, I guess it is, but it's not as much a surprise as this shitty leprechaun sneaking in through the window. And the leprechaun starts doing his sneeze magic. And when Cody tries to say God bless you, he wraps a telephone cord around his neck and drops shit from the ceiling on him. Is it is it really that hard to get a girl to sneeze 3 times without somebody blessing her? You've had
1,000
years to plan this. Just wait until she's alone or something and throw pepper in her face, you idiot. I know you gotta bust some green. I'm busting! But delay that gratification just a bit, my guy. Anyway, he puts a magical neck chain on Bridget, which means they're now married.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
It's like a wedding band, but for her neck, and it's binding, because Irish, they have traditions.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Must be some sort of leprechaun riddle.
But oops. A single gold coin rolls away and pops Cody in the webbing between his fingers, which wakes him up, obviously. And he gets hammered in the foot.
The hammer is my penis.
And Bridget gets magicked away to the leprechaun sex cave. And sure, she tries to beat him with a rock, but it doesn't work. And she asks the question that I often ask when things in film series get weird.
How did we get here?
But honestly, this series started out here. You know, what's worse, she'll be
bearing me wee one soon.
But not until he makes modifications to her stomach and face, because surgery's the new sex, am I right?
I've heard of normal sex. I don't really know what that is, but...
You'll get used to the pain.
More like a Cronenberg.
That is a great sentence.
He dumps a bunch of gold on her.
He was trying to fuck on me.
Kind of erotic.
Because gold is the new KY jelly. Except, shit.
It's missing.
He's missing a coin. Damn it. Scrooge McFuck here can't get hard until he has all of his coins.
I must have it back.
Poof. He goes to get so he can get hard. So he can get his coin so he can get hard. She tries to escape by placing rocks about 6 inches apart. You're gonna run out of rocks pretty fast. She's like, well, I've been there. I've been here. But anyway, that doesn't work and nothing else works and she's stuck.
That's a rock fact.
She does find a buried box full of like beer and maybe an ice pick. So maybe that'll work. I mean, it won't. We all know it won't, but let's just keep watching and see. Turns out, cops are looking for Cody for the lethal motorboating of
Ian.
But he makes it back to Morty.
Morty! Jesus!
And tries to prove that he was attacked by a leprechaun.
The leprechaun did it.
By explaining,
Look at this. Exodia! It's not possible!
But nothing works until, the leprechaun pops in and pops Morty. They escape via fire escape to a bar and decide, hey, apparently leprechauns can be injured by wrought iron.
What are the rules?
That seems a lot easier to get a hold of than a 4-leaf clover. Not sure why we changed his weakness. They go hang out in the bathroom, and while Cody pisses, another magic-less small person hands him a chocolate coin.
It's real milk chocolate.
Man, I miss when bathrooms had a wee man handing out candy in it. How do we get back there? The 90s were great. Cody also just, I guess, somehow realizes that
He came out of a tree at Houdini's ruins. That's where Bridget is. Let's go.
but they can't leave yet because the leprechaun is at the bar. So instead, they sort of embarrass him into a drinking contest. While a whole gaggle of small people cheer him into drunkenness. Don't worry, it's done way more tastefully than it sounds. It doesn't feel offensive at all. It's very classy. Doesn't necessarily stop him.
You're gonna have to do what we ask.
But he does take a pit stop for some sobering coffee from a guy who can do some really great stuff if only you would look.
Look what I can do.
He then murders that guy because he mistakes
I just want you to pay up so I can get out of here.
as stealing his gold,
So it's sweet gold you'll be wanting.
which further confirms my theory that the leprechaun won't spend his gold on anything, which further begs the question,
What's the f***ing point?
billionaires are the greediest pieces of shit in existence, but they still drop bills on yachts and hair plugs. Roasting! But alright, Cody and Morty need some wrought iron, so they go back to the go-karting place to steal their massive wrought iron safe. Seems like literally the single most difficult way to get some wrought iron. But also, it does have one of the lowest possible chances of being effective, unless they happen to enlist the help of Wile E. Coyote. But oh no! They actually trick Leprechaun into it through a doggy door. So it's fine. This movie makes my head hurt more than wrought iron on leprechaun fleshy bits. Anyway, because all is trickery and because we keep coming up with new rules out of nowhere.
What are the rules? I really want to say the N-word.
Morty locks Cody in the broom closet so he can get his 3 wishes.
You owe me 3 wishes.
You know, because leprechauns also give you 3 wishes, maybe.
There are no rules.
First, he's like,
I could ask you for $1 million.
But actually, I'd rather have gold.
I want your gold.
That I can then later convert to cash.
A safe, reliable transaction with satisfaction guaranteed.
The leprechaun is like, all right, poof, it's in your stomach. And Morty's like, damn. My second wish, get that out.
But you have to let me out of the safe first.
So he frees the leprechaun.
I wish you had it the same.
Who slices open Morty's stomach. Rip Morty.
No, Morty!
We're the only friends we've got, Morty.
The worst wisher ever. Cody escapes, but encounters a security guard who arrests him and who also arrested Morty earlier for 5 seconds, but it was no biggie. But the leprechaun seduces the guard over.
Please, help me!
What is this, some kind of leprechaun riddle?
And then runs the guard over with a go-kart. Then he tries to run Cody over, but uh-oh, new rule alert. The leprechaun cannot hurt Cody in any way if he's holding onto a piece of his gold. Obviously, Oaf got the shit sliced out of him despite having gold inside of his body, and actually like 8 seconds ago, Morty had a ton of gold in his body, but starting now, nobody else can be hurt if they have gold. That's a rule now.
Rules are rules, Robin.
And so Cody will have to give it to the leprechaun willingly because those are the rules.
Tired of all these fucking rules, man.
Without rules, we're just animals. And Cody is like tight. Well,
I'm gonna save Bridget!
Great. Yeah. But Leprechaun beats him down there and she caresses his leg, which as we all know, he loves.
I'm such a lucky boy.
And she stabs him, which as we all know, he doesn't love. But it doesn't work. So now it's all up to Cody and his weird U2 knockoff music. First, he must fight the skeleton of the dead Irish daddy from the intro, and then he hallucinates some thorns or weeds or whatever. While Bridget picks her lock, and then the two of them run around in circles forever until they're separated for a second.
Bridget!
And then they're not separated.
Bridget!
And Bridget is like, ooh, hey, man.
Give me
Exodia!
And Cody's like, okay, here's the gold coin. And shit, it was another Irish ruse. It was the leprechaun all along.
You lose.
Oh God, he force blasts Cody to definite death.
He's dead? It's over? It's really over?
Of course not, Bridget. That would bring some semblance of pleasure.
In your dreams!
As it turns out, Cody actually gave Bridget Con the chocolate gold coin from the bathroom from earlier.
Real milk chocolate, genius.
So Cody didn't die because he still had the gold coin, and the leprechaun can't kill him if he's got the gold coin, so he stabs the leprechaun with some wrought iron thing. The leprechaun explodes.
He's gonna blow!
Hey, can you die from swallowing?
And they escape. And then he does actually, Cody just drops the coin on the ground because...
Are you gonna keep it?
Trust me, it's not worth it.
And the movie ends super abruptly, like they just lost a scene or something. This is actually how it is. I didn't edit this. It just ends. Shockingly, this movie did so poorly, it would be decades before they ever put another one of these in theaters. But that doesn't mean they didn't just make like a leprechaun waiting for his 2000th birthday and just keep cranking them out. Gold. What rhymes with gold?
I mean, like everything?
I can't even think of one word.
It's good.
As I alluded to, it only took 2 movies for the producers of Leprechaun to decide maybe our art will be best appreciated direct-to-video.
I don't really understand her.
So as you can imagine, the quality dramatically improves, starting with 2 straight minutes of green font text over black. They're practically daring you to pop the, I assume, green VHS out of the player and smash it with a pint of Guinness. I guess it's like, well, we already rented it, so...
I'm finding this to be a very funny and poetic leprechaun.
The movie actually starts in Las Vegas, obviously. Natural progression for the franchise. A crazy pirate drags a bunch of shit into a pawn shop and is like, I gotta trade this for gas money. And the Indian shop owner, named and played by an Argentinian,
Yes, of course.
is like, fine, here's $20 for a leprechaun frozen in carbonite. He notices a medallion on the leprechaun.
Don't touch the medallion.
He pulls it off, but this causes him to come to life, bite in the ear, and literally say,
I like Indian food.
Oh, he seems so happy. I don't have the heart to tell him that he actually tastes like Argentinian food.
So spicy.
That's ear asado, my guy. And also... toes asado, I guess.
Don't mind if I do.
Gupta puts up literally 0 fight against the diminutive weirdo biting his extremities, but thankfully the leprechaun is terrified of the medallion.
Take it away! Take it away!
The leprechaun then scampers off, so naturally pops in a Leprechaun Explainer CD-ROM that he just had lying around.
Good day to you.
Which explains important lore, like how
Potatoes are a leprechaun's favorite meal.
Potatoes.
and also that leprechauns give you 1 wish per gold coin now, and also if you destroy their gold, they die, and also leprechauns, they all hate each other. I have to burp, but it's funny to think that I just gave up and just started staring into the distance. These are all brand new inventions for this series. In the back room of the shop, the potato-loving goober realizes he dropped a coin, so he stows away his pot in a wrought iron safe. I don't think there's any long-running series this disinterested in its own lore.
I have nothing to fear.
Not only is every movie a one-off plot-wise, they're also one-offs lore-wise. Feels like a lot of work to start from scratch, like, what do I think leprechauns are so afraid of? Let's just start at 0 and assume that I know nothing. And there's never been another film in this series.
He ruins it.
But on the other hand, clearly no work went into any part of these movies. They didn't even bother to replace all the E's in the title with 3s. Even the upcoming Tron 3 did that. Treen? Everything you thought you knew about Tron is different. This is Trent. It's a totally different computer.
Instead of motorbikes, they're little trains that have lasers behind them.
Anyway, grabs and licks a gun to go Irish hunting, but before he can murder the little guy, the leprechaun magics a Cupid statue to shoot Gupta. And also blows up his gun. And then Gupta shoves the medallion in the leprechaun's mouth, which he hates. But I don't think that's like a leprechaun specific hate. Like, I don't know many people who enjoy having jewelry shoved into their mouths, except in all those internet videos that Dave watches when he thinks he's alone. So they take a quick drink break to chat, and is like, hey, how about I give you the medallion for, I don't know, half your gold?
Half me gold?
And the leprechaun is like,
if you can't make a good deal with
a leprechaun,
then there's something wrong with you.
You got a deal.
Except also,
I told you a terrible lie, and now you're going to die.
Hasta luego, Gupta! Kudos to the movie for not making an Indian call center joke like Dave just made off camera.
Don't be racist. I am
a leprechaun.
And I was like, Dave, stop! You know?
He's actually going to do it.
Elsewhere, a hot girl's car breaks down as hot girl cars tend to do, and a young boy almost runs her over with a car, as young boys with cars tend to do.
My name's Scott.
And in fact, the first car accident I was ever in, I got smashed off the road by a kid desperately trying to not miss his exit. And I was obviously super pissed, but when I talked to the kid, his dad had shown up and was like forcing him to apologize to me, and the kid's pants were unzipped. And I was like, well, this is mostly just sad. You remember my car from high school? My Mazda Protege, my black stallion? He killed it! But Scott here's pants are fully zipped.
Sorry.
You want to back up and try that again?
And he's like,
have you ever blown a rod before?
Or rather,
have you ever blown a ska before?
I beg your pardon.
Am I right? But Tammy here is like, gross, my guy. I'm a magician. assistant.
Right now I'm assisting the great Fazio.
What's a Fazio?
But I hope to be a magician one day. A real one. Will that desire, or I assume, hopefully talent, factor into the story in any way? No, it will not.
I believe you.
What will factor in is the fact that she is stacked. That is the real talent.
Nothing but boobies.
But anyway, Scott is an 18-year-old played by a 27-year-old actor who would later be nominated for an Academy Award for writing the movie Flight.
I inverted the bird and landed her safely in an open field.
And he also wrote one of the first movies I ever made fun of on YouTube, Kong Skull Island. So that's fun. Apparently he's a great writer.
We are inverted. I repeat, we are inverted.
Not so good at the acting though. I get the pivot.
I believe you.
Anyway, he gives Stack Tammy a ride to the casino where she works, and he's like, hey, I'm on my way to the college, but can you sneak me inside this hotel? And she's like, sure, but you better not gamble. But Scott is instantly seduced by the allure of this unbelievably shitty looking casino with slots playing little people and crapping priests.
Roll again, Father Ron.
Don't worry, it's handled very tastefully. Again. Scott cashes his $23,000 tuition check and loses all of it immediately.
Fight done.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
So really, he just learned a valuable lesson from the University of Hard Knocks when probably his brain was all distracted about wanting to visit the University of Tammy's Hard Knockers. Yeah? Or maybe they're soft. Maybe they're like fluffy clouds or something. But actually, no, he didn't learn his lesson because the dealer convinces him to head across the street to the pawn shop to sell his watch to try and win his money back, and maybe also to buy his wife a really nice comb for her hair.
The brush meant a lot to me. It had nylon bristles.
Do you even get that joke at all?
It's a gift of the Magi situation here.
That's a joke. The two of you are going to be like, oh, shit. Of course, what he finds is a dead body.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
And a gold coin that he picks up and uses to accidentally wish for a winning streak, which transports him back to the casino and makes him, I guess, completely forget about the dead body he just saw. But hey, money is always good for making people forget about those corpses they've seen.
Give me the body of a stacked 20-year-old.
And I will have your other $5 ready tomorrow, Dave. I promise, but also stay out of my basement.
I thought I had problems.
Whatever. People die every day, but not everybody gets hot at the craps without eating spicy wings.
Ooh.
Anyway, the gold coin literally moves Scott's bets around, which the dealer, named Loretta, notices. And all the lost money pisses her boss right off, so he comes up with an excuse to shut the table down and gives Scott a hotel key. And it's like, hey, take a break. Maybe leave your money in an organized pile right by the door in your room. Thank you. But oh, hey, speaking of hot crap, here's Tammy. Look at hot as crap. And her magician boss.
You need more than a boob job, Loretta.
Well, he's firing around a literal flamethrower because maybe that's a metaphor.
That's a metaphor.
Unfortunately, he's not actually allowed to use the flamethrower to melt off Tammy's clothes for the actual event, so the resultant magic show has a real final countdown quality to it. After the show, Tammy finds Scott and is like, I told you not to gamble, you stupid shit. But whatever, cash out, head to your room, and don't let anybody inside. He heads upstairs, but Loretta and the magician make a deal to rob him. But it's gonna be pretty tricky because I'm pretty sure that Scott is gonna have sex with his new money.
Ah, it's good. Money.
And it's all gonna stick together. Buddy, your penis is gonna be frescoed with micro paper cuts. The magician breaks in but can't find the money, but he does punch Scott and steals his gold coin. Oh shit, I almost forgot this was a Leprechaun movie. Did you forget? The movie almost forgot. That little shit is literally just wandering around Las Vegas in the open, I guess. Not even Elvis seems fazed by the smallest, ugliest little man he's ever seen.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey man, you do that pretty good.
Fun fact, this is Leprechaun actor Warwick Davis's favorite film in the franchise.
Vegas, my kind of town.
Because he says the director really got the humor. So I guess Warwick Davis is an idiot, huh? Yes, I know he's been in a lot of great movies, but that doesn't mean he's not also an idiot. Dave's been behind the camera of every one of these incredible videos, and yet, I mean,
Sorry.
Speaking of, he also, the Leprechaun, not Dave, shows up in Scott's room.
Room service.
Bites his arm. but is then stabbed in the head and yeeted out the window. Scott calls hotel security and is like,
I'd like to report a leprechaun in your hotel.
Completely forgetting to mention the easily identifiable magician who robbed him 5 seconds earlier that works at this hotel. Scott then dries off his tiny little nips and whoops, I guess he's becoming Irish now because he freaking loves potatoes.
Potatoes.
Another new leprechaun rule. Fun. Can leprechauns also mercy kill YouTubers binging their movies? I sure hope so.
To keep this pot of gold, you have to review all of the Leprechaun films.
That's my thing! Don't steal my thing!
The magician hands Loretta the coin, but she can't make the magic work, and her boss comes over and is like,
What is that?
Give me that coin. Hey, unrelated thought, I wish I could have sex with Tammy. And thank you, magic coin. Tammy is a little freaky.
Oh, Mitzi, like that? Yeah!
But that's okay because she does a pretty mean strip tease. Loretta finally understands how the coin works, so she sneaks into their room, steals the coin, but her slamming the door snaps Tammy out of her sexual stupor.
Mitch?
Literally seconds before she pops out her potatoes, which, like, talk about a potato famine.
You ball-breaking tease.
I think I finally understand the pain of being Irish, right? You've heard them called potatoes before. Yeah?
Pillowy mounds of mashed potatoes.
These are like boomer at a resort jokes, like talk about a potato famine.
Am I right?
Pillowy mound, pillowy mound, pillowy mound, mashed potatoes.
Anyway, her blue bald boss is like,
You're fired.
For not showing me your potatoes, eh? And she leaves the room, but it's fine because the leprechaun throws some literal porn on his television. Oh no, actually the porn grudges its way out of the TV and the boss just rolls with it. You never look a gift porn in the boob.
It's a god.
He's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm worried if I mention it, it'll all end.
This is nice. This is good. I like this.
Except he probably should have at least stolen a quick glance in the gift boob, because apparently his hot lady is actually an evil sex robot.
Have sex with a robot.
That electrocutes him to death. I have lost more uncles than I care to admit that way. It's always like, hey, how's Uncle Jeff? And they're like, well, similar to Uncle Rob. He was electrocuted to death by a sex robot. He was so young. God always calls his most beautiful angels back at the earliest or some shit. I don't remember what this phrase is. Scott bumps into sad Tammy and intends to make chivalrous revenge upon her boss's body. But dude is already dead when they show up, so they just throw some shit at the leprechaun and run away and catch a cab to the
pawn shop across the street.
He walked there last time.
Pawn shop across the street.
By the way, there are also some weird debt collector guys on the fringes of this movie.
You know, you really ought to like go see a dermatologist or something. That's really bad.
That get killed during the scene. So just be aware of that. Like if anybody asks, just tell them that I told you about those two characters and that I'll have their money soon, I promise. I just need to convince a couple thousand internet people to sign up for my Patreon. You'll tell them all that, right?
Yes. No.
Oh, another side note / plot. Loretta wants ultimately what Dave wants.
I want to be sexy.
Good luck.
And since she has the coin now, she has the chance to make it happen. See, Dave? All you gotta do is find yourself a magic coin and then finally you can get in front of the camera without, having to wear a bag over your head to cover up your hideous non-lips that were torn off by the tits of a motorboat or whatever we had said happened.
I'm a monster.
Anyway, except, well, the magic doesn't seem to work. I mean, yes.
Look at those tits. I don't think I'm allowed to.
But also the haircut and the dress are unflattering. But not as unflattering as the leprechaun giving her lip, ass, and boob fillers until she explodes. Like every Kardashian's worst nightmare, second only to me writing their music on their show, which I've done. Suck it, Chloe.
That was quite a load.
Anyway, it's shockingly disgusting and unsettling body horror from an otherwise pretty tame series, generally speaking. And hey, let's talk about boobs a little bit more, because why not? For some reason, American movies believe fake jugs or jugs enhanced by unnatural means are evil. And much like the faux fun bags themselves, Hollywood's hatred for mock melons isn't exactly subtle. There are many signs in Back to the Future Part 2 that Biff is a real butt bag, but none are bigger than the two staring Marty right in the face upon waking from a second concussion in as many movies. In this timeline, Biff married Marty's mom and forced her to get a boob job.
You're so big.
Because turning the US into a place where you can get killed for stealing newspapers wasn't enough to establish that he's a villain. He's bad. In Bruce Almighty, the movie quickly establishes that Jim Carrey is using his literal god powers incorrectly by making his girlfriend's frost detectors much larger. I mean, he's basically the hot boy from the first Leprechaun. Everybody leave Jennifer Aniston alone. She's perfect how she is, God.
Look at them.
And then in the 1972 Woody Allen movie, Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Too Afraid to Ask, there is a segment titled, Are the Findings of Doctors and Clinics Who Do Sexual Research and Experiments Accurate? Because Woody Allen does not know the difference between a movie title and an entire book, or an adoptive daughter and a date. But let's stay focused. This segment tells the story of a mad scientist obsessed with maleficent mammary enlargement and ends with a solitary massive boob terrorizing the countryside in a parody of The Blob. It's a boob blob. A bloob. Hollywood also punishes women just for wanting bountiful, bouncy bodice boogie bobbles.
Can we please have one conversation that's not about my rack?
Which is why when Kitty on Arrested Development gets knocker implants, she's punished for it by having her boob job turn out all weird and lopsided. You also have Mean Girls, where the Queen Bee's mom, played by Amy Poehler, had a boob job so botched that she doesn't even feel when a dog basically bites her nipple off. No, I'm not done. I still haven't mentioned Crank 2, where a prostitute gets a bullet shot through her implants. That's not very nice, okay? And also, I'm done now.
Thank you, God.
Also, I will say, though the Leprechaun one-liners are still terrible, at least they are, like, technically one-liners.
For pulling this trick, I'll jump off your dick!
Back to our naturally chested protagonists. They're at the pawn shop, dicking on the computer and getting more and more Irish.
Oh no, how can you say that, darling?
What? Neither of them is quite sure what they're looking for, but then...
I can smell it!
They're magically delicious.
Yeah, they find the gold.
Isn't it lovely?
When the Leprechaun shows up...
If anyone's scared to death, then it'll be me.
So they scuffle a bit and run outside, and Scott is like, hey!
I feel like...
You got tearing me apart, Lisa!
I mean, Tammy.
I feel like I'm being torn apart.
So they head to the hospital where a very head-first actress is like, oh shit, get him into surgery.
I am a surgeon!
Of course, in there, they discover that his blood is as green as his splooge.
That was quite a load.
And his EKGs are leprechaun themed, and they literally steal his money.
Maybe he doesn't need health insurance.
Wow. But eventually he breaks free of his restraints and goes full Wolfman on everybody in their buttholes.
Angel of mercy.
And then the Leprechaun, sporting a Joker-level nurse disguise, sneaks into the hospital's morgue, where, wouldn't you know it, a mortician is eating. Those morticians, so hungry, every movie, they eat so much. Lep calls Tammy into the morgue over the loudspeaker, and she's like, oh no, Scott's dead, but oh, actually it's just the mortician. No biggie, free lunch!
Baby, you got a stew going.
Leprechaun ties Tammy down, which, awesome. But then Scott appears to do a rhyme off.
Back off, you renegade, before I make you eat that blade.
Woman! Whoa, man!
With, let's say, mixed results.
Cut her nose and I'll hack off your toes.
She was a thief, you gotta believe.
They scare off the Leprechaun with the medallion they grabbed at the pawn shop. And cut to another scene. Hey, by the way, the magician got the coin at some point and wished to be the
Greatest magician in the world?
But as far as I can tell, not a single thing about him or his life changes. He can't even create the illusion of this being a good movie. He's still doing the same show,
The Burning Beauty,
and the same casino. And he can't even do his trick before getting killed by the Leprechaun. You'd think the world's greatest magician could escape from some simple hand restraints, but he cannot. Scott and Tammy show up because I guess they want to make sure Scott doesn't end up fully Irish, which I get.
Are you Irish?
No.
And Scott immediately incites a panic and riot.
This man's a maniac!
Get the out of here!
Then there's a brief Batman Joker moment where Leprechaun does the whole, we're not so different, you and I.
We're alike, me and you. even as hell, all the way through.
And Tammy is like,
No, Scott.
you would never be like him, Scott. Except he gambled away all of his tuition money well before he was ever cursed. And the first wish he has is to gamble better? The dude is very money oriented. But whatever, he gets over all that.
I'll never be like you.
And he flamethrowers the pot of gold, which kills the leprechaun and heals Scott from being too Irish.
You're normal again.
Other than his freaking pinky ring. I will never understand pinky rings. Sorry to be a boomer about it, but ew. They walk outside and throw the last coin away.
Booyah!
Because Tammy's like,
I think I have everything I want.
Big ass titties.
but is all of Scott's tuition money still gone? And then the doctor stole his wings, right? So maybe wish for that? Also, Tammy has no job now. Leprechaun 4 is just going to be about them being homeless and on the run from the Las Vegas PD, who will definitely blame Scott for his murder, right? They're not going to think a leprechaun did it. It's going to be a great film. Buckle up, guys.
You know something, sweetheart? This could be the beginning of a beautiful...
Okay.
Laddie, I think you're overcomplicating it.
Leprechaun!
Nunchucks!
It took Friday the 13th 10 movies to give up and head to space, but Leprechaun does it in 4. That's efficiency, baby! Woo! Check out this dog shit asteroid. Also, this dog shit spaceship headed to a dog shit planet. Do you think these dog shit cutscenes were rendered on a Nintendo 64? No. They look way too dog shit for even that.
Whoa, this conversation is really heating up.
Anyway, here are a few stupid boring Marines and then one very not boring Marine.
Hey, who's hungry?
I am very hungry.
Yeah?
Yes. No.
And they're led by a metal-headed commander who was originally going to be the drill sergeant in Full Metal Jacket, but was replaced.
Why did you join my beloved corps? Search!
Kill the bastard.
I wonder why. Is it because he sucks?
I just think you suck.
They're on a mission to destroy an alien who has
Disrupted the galactic mining operation to a tune of $500 million.
which sounds like a lot, but this is set in 2096. And if inflation trends hold, that's like
$4 million.
in 2024 dollars. It costs more than that to convince a CEO to wipe thoroughly before firing all of their creative employees. I've heard. I wouldn't know nothing about that. Anyway, they're joined by a sexy doctor.
I'm Dr. Reeves.
Great.
Sexy doctor alert.
Because can you really have a space horror movie without a sexy doctor?
Initiating scan.
Hell, can you have a YouTube video about a horror movie without a sexy doctor?
I've been assigned to your...
And she's gonna get samples from the alien. I'm like, I bet you want some samples, you nasty lady.
I'm to collect samples of any alien...
You nasty.
Also, maybe she'll get some samples from this Marine that she shares a brief moment with.
Okay, we are just about ass to ankles back here, maybe. Do you want to hop on your cousin's lap there, please?
Quote, 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 quote. Hey,
Oh! Shake baby.
let's stop for a prayer.
May all our wounds be thine of flesh wounds only.
This movie is now canonically in the God's Not Dead cinematic universe.
I feel real safe now.
And you know who else is canonically in the God's Not Dead cinematic universe? This guy. Because I did the music for 2 of those movies. Did they credit me? No, thankfully. Actually, it's probably a good thing.
You got God. You got the Kardashians. You're just playing both sides, dude.
I am the missing link between God and the Kardashians.
Do you and Kanye have Bible studies just by yourselves?
We don't.
I feel real safe now.
By the way, on the shitty planet is the Leprechaun doing an inexplicable British accent as he tries to woo an alien sex princess, as one does.
An angel's voice sends pleasure to every part of my
penis. He hopes to marry her so that he can become a king.
You? A king?
But would not make him rich, as he points out that the current king is broke.
Your father, the king, he hasn't a penny to his name.
My father, he's me.
So maybe he's actually just looking to get married, which has been his goal in like every single movie since the first. I think this guy might just be lonely. It's sort of sad when you think about it.
dinner for 2.
2 penises! And apparently the whole sneezing betrothal thing only applies to Earth brides. Oops, now he's angry.
And it's tired I am of being treated like a dog.
Whoa. Which makes him Irish again, which, is that racist?
Just kind of comes with the job.
I mean, when Dave gets angry, he starts, go.
Like you paint me as this super Italian.
Super Italian!
Sorry about that. Dave's getting... Okay, the Marines are now inside this planet's asshole, and they kill some random non-Irish aliens. And the Leprechaun kills one of the Marines with a legally different enough lightsaber. And then there is an epic shootout, which culminates with the Leprechaun sacrificing himself to absorb the blast of a grenade and save his future alien space sex wife.
Let's take this bastard out! Grenade! Get back!
Very noble Leprechaun. And I'm pretty sure I just activated at least 3 Winter Soldiers by uttering this inexplicable combination of words that no human would ever say under normal circumstances unless they were trying to bring Sebastian Stan out of a coma.
Stop. Razviet.
Unfortunately, her hand still gets blown off, somehow causing her to pass out.
This doesn't look good.
Dave told me earlier that he doesn't care how many hands a lady has as long as she's unconscious, which I thought was pretty messed up. But he doubled down and was like, no, that's my preference. You can't judge me for it. And I was like, okay, I just think it's wrong to think that way about women. And then he slapped me and told me to save the flapping of my pretty wet mouth for video.
Hurry up, dickhead.
This is horrible.
I know, I wish you hadn't done all those things to me.
There's plenty more where that came from.
Then a Marine lives every Lakers fan's dream and pisses on the Leprechaun corpse.
Pure Rocky Mountain spring water.
That's cum, isn't it?
But immediately gets Irish herpes, which are like regular herpes, but more Catholic, so they feel guiltier.
Oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph!
They take the princess aboard, and the hot doctor is like, we should keep her alive to help improve relations with the planet that she's from. And I can see Dave being like, oh, I'll improve relations. But again, Dave, no!
Well,
Also, they Chekhov's shrink and enlarge the Leprechaun's stolen gold for no real reason, and are told by a weird German Twitch streamer that they need to stay circling the planet until a mining team can show up, despite their contract expiring at midnight, because even in the future, bosses won't let you clock out, even though you've already finished everything.
Legally, we are free agents as of midnight tonight. No one leaves this ship unless I so say.
So to kill time, Private Shirt Stretcher here uses one of her hands to fumble around with the Marine's hog.
Take it easy, you don't want to hurt Mr. Snake.
Isn't that right, Mr. Snake?
Until whoops, she grips it so hard the thing comes to life. I know that life, right, Dave? Nah, I guess not, because you don't like your women with hands or consciousness. But it turns out that his dick becomes a leprechaun.
Let that be a lesson to you, lad.
Which is not something that happens to me most of the time. And he's doing a Western bit.
Hold it right there, Pilgrim.
Howdy, Pilgrim.
Like he has a badge and a revolver, like a cowboy or like a Western lawman from the 19th century. Why? How? I don't know. But he chased his stretch around for a bit. Maybe he's just trying to say thank you for the handy, because I guess he's an anthropomorphic penis a la... hard to say. Erect to say, even. And the rest of the Marines are now abreasts, boobs of the situation. And they chase the little dick into some room that requires wearing tarps.
This is the decontamination chamber.
Great, yeah. The tarps are so important that even the invincible Leprechaun wears one. He claims that all he wants is the princess back, and when he doesn't immediately receive her, he slashes one of the Marines' tarps, which is probably bad because he becomes a skeleton, which is not ideal.
Why is this not ideal?
Elsewhere, this creepy smells the unconscious princess and realizes, oh hey, her hand grew back.
Impossible.
Dave is disappointed, obviously.
You are a naughty, naughty boy.
But the Twitch streamer is thrilled because, hey, there's valuable science in her blood, probably. It's also sort of personally interesting to him because, surprise, he's a friggin' cyborg or the love child of a Nazi in a Windows 95.
You know, we use a lot of the same kinds of
penises. And he's been on the ship the whole time, I guess.
As like the Wizard of Oz, I always think.
Remember this clutch analogy? He uses the princess blood to grow back like half a finger, which is a pretty good start. Pretty soon he'll be able to grow a whole hand and ensure that Dave never comes anywhere near him.
I'll do the jokes.
The Marines briefly are like, hey, we should just give the princess to the leprechaun, because that's all he wants, and it sucks that we can't give each other hand jobs without the possibility that our penises will become Irish.
Ooh.
But PewDiePie is like, I'll pay you extra if you kill him. And they're like, okay, that works.
Sounds good to me.
Yo, I'm in.
You have my sword.
So now they're searching again, and the main Marine gets magically handcuffed for a second while the leprechaun sort of shoots fire at him.
You missed.
And the sexy doctor, but it's fine. Also, here's what you'd think would be a barbecue rhyme, but is in fact not.
Neverland, but I'll roast her yet. This barbecue's only just begun.
That doesn't even rhyme.
Elsewhere, the leprechaun cuts his fingers off on video, which sounds like most of Dave's search history, and then squishes a Marine with a space box.
Ow! You box of shit!
Simply smashing.
And then Stretch, who they call
Dolores,
gets separated from the group, but it's fine because she kills the leprechaun.
Great! Shut door!
Which, by the way, I don't think a single character in this movie ever says leprechaun. They only call him the alien. And at no point is there a single bit of lore or explanation for why the hell he's chilling on that planet trying to marry an alien sex princess. I mean, given the chance, we'd all go for it. But how did he even get there exactly? Are leprechauns working on their own space exploration program between terrorizing sorority girls and D-list magicians? Just kidding. I don't give a shit. And neither does Dolores.
I got him!
Except, oops, his refractory period is very, short. And he flips her over a railing to her death. If only she'd managed to twist around in midair and land on her God-given airbags.
I don't know if I can work with that.
So, okay, now Leprechaun pretends to be the sexy doctor, except naked.
They tore off all my clothes. Let me in before they come.
To trick the weird doctor into letting her into the science room or the med bay or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
And when he does, the leprechaun smacks him right in his little Irishman.
Let's do it. Let's get in.
And then Leprechaun and PewDiePie chat for a bit until Doc grows a dick knife and he stabs Leprechaun in the back. And then he gets his head completely flattened.
Appreciate it if you didn't call my fiance Pancake Face.
I cannot believe they did not release this in theaters. Then the leprechaun wakes up the princess, ball gags PewDiePie.
Ah, yes, of course.
And drops a spider and a scorpion into a DNA smoothie, which he injects into PewDiePie's head. Then the Marines show up again, and there's a shootout again, and the sexy doctor gets something spilled on her that can only be cleaned by getting her super wet and ripping off her sleeves, obviously.
Ooh, that's convenient.
Then they chase the leprechaun into a room where he magics some explosives onto the Sarge, which gives them pause. And then the princess, who is partnered with Leprechaun now because A, she wants to be rich and thinks that he's the ticket to that, and B, she intends to kill him later, flashes her tits for no reason? Oh no, apparently this is the reason.
On the planet Dominia, when a woman of royal blood shows you her breasts, it's a death sentence.
Ooh, that's convenient.
Well, that's also true for humans. At least that's what my dad told me. I've never seen boobs, and obviously neither have you. We'd all be dead.
Punishable by big-ass titties.
I will say, though, if these are death titties, why don't they, kill the Marines? They just walk away with the sergeant tow. Well, actually, he marches, technically, like if we're gonna get technical. Okay, now the Sarge is fully in drag.
I was feeling kind of flirty.
Sarge?
And has nunchucks and is hurting the Marines.
Nunchucks!
And it's not clear if he's magically brainwashed or if he's just having some sort of awakening, but his heart seems very split on how best to proceed.
This is far too violent.
Shut up, you! I say!
Also, is beating him up now a hate crime?
That's a crime.
That's a crime.
That's not a crime.
That is a stinking crime.
That is a crime.
Now that is a crime.
That's like a hate crime.
How about tricking him into electrocuting himself?
That's not much of a crime.
Also, weirdly, they spend most of this dance/fight trying not to kill him, but I guess they just gave up on that.
No, don't shoot. We can handle it.
He didn't.
Probably good they did, because apparently he was fully a robot?
He wasn't even human.
So boobs and secret robots that look like humans? What is this, Westworld? The center of the maze is a robot nipple, if I remember correctly.
The maze wasn't meant for you.
It's a timely reference, you wouldn't get it. Oh, by the way, PewDiePie is looking rough. Also, the leprechaun activated the ship's self-destruct and put a force field over the escape ship or whatever, so it can't be used by anybody until he himself has found his gold in the cargo bay. And man, things are getting tense.
Bitch.
The only other surviving non-main Marine heads to the bridge or whatever to try to turn off the self-destruct, while the main Marine and Hot Doctor engage in yet another leprechaun shootout. I mean, we all know the leprechaun can't die at this point, but it can't hurt to try a few dozen more times.
Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting.
They do manage to enlarge and also blurry him with Chekhov's gold shrinking and enlarging machine.
What, did you shoot him with steroids?
Oops. Honey, I blew up the baby dick.
I blew up the baby.
I'm huge.
That felt weird coming out of my mouth, but I liked it. I'll get a taste for it.
I blew the baby.
Now that is a crime.
If we're not demonetized by now, I think we should probably sue YouTube. Their bots are clearly failing. To fight this huge baby dick, the main Marine takes off his shirt.
There's too much on me, I can't.
And Hot Doc gets her pants ripped off by Spider Pie. The Marine, with his shirt still on, struggles with the self-destruct because A,
password,
and B, I guess he got strung up by Spider Pie.
Get out of here! You don't want this. Get out of here.
But it's fine because Hot Doc shows up in her tiny little undies to liquid nitrogen the spider's ass. And then the Marine saves the princess for some reason, and they open the cargo doors and shoot the big little dick into space where he pops.
Gonna pop.
But oh shit, they still need the password. What about Wizard, like of Oz?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Let's have a threesome while the leprechaun fingers us from space. Did you know $1.6 million were spent making this movie? Surely you could just join my Patreon, Trimark Pictures, which is now just Lionsgate. Sign up, cowards! At certain tiers, you can become an executive producer, which might hopefully wash out some of this shame. My next video is definitely going to be produced by Lionsgate. They have zero taste.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Ah, foreshadowing.
All right. Now you're a Marine.
Leprechauns, they ain't in your hood. Leprechauns, they ain't doing no good. Leprechauns, they got a big ass pot. Leprechauns, they gonna make it real hot.
Ooh, I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Boy, you need to get yourself some pussy before you blow off your dick.
Ooh, looks like we're getting back to our treasured roots by opening in the same cave as the first movie and getting something of a recap, but with rhymes
Of his golden flute.
which, as we all know, is an Irishism for a penis with extra holes, right?
There was a YouTube commenter that told you all the different types of penis piercings.
That was just you.
Did you get a penis piercing for this shoot?
Did I?
Prince Charles or...
What?
What's it called? Prince Albert.
Is when you get a penis piercing?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, Dave, if you say so. Oh, and then somebody expanded on it. Help me, YouTube commenters. What do you call a penis with extra holes?
Solution unknown.
Ooh, and now we're showcasing how modern and hip this movie is. It's a sick beat over extremely long opening credits. Hey, fun fact, did you know it took 4 people to come up with this story?
So I was doing some research on comedy.
Just keep that in mind as we begin in earnest with an afro-donning Ice-T knocking a hole in a wall.
Yo, what's up, man?
He and his buddy are literally looking for a leprechaun, as buddies oft do, as Dave and I always are doing on our weekends.
Man, it gotta be down here somewhere.
But when his buddy says something he doesn't find amusing, Ice-T yeets him through a wall.
Did you just yeet?
Where, oh, hey, there's an again carbonated friggin' leprechaun.
What the
And his buddy's excited about the gold, but all Ice-T wants is one of those holy blow penises.
That's all I want right here.
Of course, the greedy buddy removes a medallion that apparently keeps Leprechaun statuesque and the audience safe from advancing this god-awful plot, but alas, he comes to life and he stabs that guy in the throat with an afro pick and then begins quoting MLK.
Me at last, Logan. God almighty.
That's racist.
Oh, that doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel great. But don't worry, there are many other hate crimes to come. A smorgasbord of hate.
A smorgasbord?
Midget Midas motherfucker.
Hey, did you know that stealing gold is exactly like going to that one beach?
Stealing the gold's a sure way to grow old.
It's hard to explain.
Except wouldn't the better threat be that you won't get to be old because you die? Are we saying that the gold prolongs life?
It's hard to explain.
Ice-T tries to kill the leprechaun with many things, including a baseball bat hidden in his hair because, haha!
Yeah, come on.
His hair's so big. Can you imagine if somebody actually had an afro? What a goofy hairstyle.
That's racist.
Dave's back there like, yeah, I know, afros are crazy. I can't believe people should have hair like me.
No.
But nothing works.
Drop your
Until random steam blasts the leprechaun in the face, and the medallion magically falls on him and refreezes his ass. Problem solved.
Solution known.
Cut from there to, I assume, 20-ish years later, and these boys rap so hard and with such a positive message that their shit explodes.
I got no time for negativity.
I know that life. Dave always be rapping so hard and so positively, my shit explodes. Show them what I mean, Dave. Give me a hard, positive rap.
No, thank you.
Giving me nothing.
You should do something because you're just gonna dub over something horrible.
I know.
My name is Dave, and the only thing I love is the whites. From my crispy tees to my clean nights, I'm in love with the shine. Ain't no surprise. I live and breathe for the whites. That's no lies. For the whites. For the whites. For the whites. I live and breathe for the whites.
Damn! What the hell happened here?
Sorry.
As it turns out, these three fellas were auditioning for a chance to do a show that might get them a chance to go to Las Vegas for a chance to maybe get a record deal.
So what up with the gig, homeschool?
But because of the aforementioned exploded shit, they're gonna need some money to purchase some new equipment so they can have a chance to re-audition for a chance to Vegas for a chance to label.
If we win this contest, we're gonna be going to the Vegas Hip Hop Cafe, man. We talking video promo, publishing rights, record deals, all that shit.
This is how basically every hip-hop artist ever made it large.
Hey, you wanna be large?
Yes, please.
50 Cent was great at auditioning and battling ill-tempered short guys.
He must play by a new set of rules.
If you can read one full page of a Harry Potter book, I'll give 750,000
gold coins
to whatever charitable organization you want to.
Now, their first money-making scheme is pawning a guitar that they claim was signed by Jimi Hendrix, but the Pawn Star sees right through that and is like, besides your attempt to defraud me, your bigger issue is...
Boy, you need to get yourself some pussy before you blow off your dick.
And again, Dave knows that life. I swear, dude, this movie is literally your life.
Oh, man, bitches and hoes ain't all my man, no.
Dave also knows cameras. He knows 3 things.
So now he got his little hip-hop thing going.
Sorry.
Now, their second money-making scheme is pawning a guitar they claim was signed by Jimi Hendrix, but the Pawn Star sees right through that and is like,
Hip and hop your black ass home.
I wonder what the third money-making scheme will be. Maybe they'll sell a guitar that they claim is signed by Jimi Hendrix, but to a leprechaun. No, there is no third scheme. Ice-T just shows up in a car and is like, I heard you guys rap so positively and hard that shit explodes, so why don't you hop in my limo and I'll see about signing you to, I guess, his label? Or maybe his restaurant staff?
You guys seem hungry. I'm sure I could do something with you.
I don't know, but it doesn't matter because Ice-T doesn't seem to get their music, as he thinks positive music is stupid, and he wants them to rap about
Uzis blowing motherfuckers' heads off. You know what I'm saying? Smack your bitch up.
I don't think I'm allowed to.
But the main guy, Postmaster P,
It's Postmaster P because I deliver a positive message.
It's gay. It's so gay.
is hesitant to change his unique exploding style, so they're thrown out.
Yo, Mac Daddy, I don't know, man. You don't know. Get the fuck out of here.
And they're right back where they started. I guess they're gonna try and sell the guitar again.
I mean, maybe.
The middle guy, Stray Bullet, is like, we should just rob Ice-T and pawn his stuff, which seems like an obvious betrayal of their positive music.
Hey, who gives a shit? I mean, if we large?
I'm a large to extra large.
But hey, this leprechaun statue will probably fetch a pretty shilling on the pawn market, and you know, then they can buy more equipment with the shillings that they've made.
It's the magic of compounded interest.
This is real here, kid.
Sure, this sounds bad, but in reality it
Ain't nothing but a hip-hop thing.
I mean, how true that is. They meet up later for the heist, but Mr. P walks too slowly, so the editor is forced to do a quick dissolve. What an elegant and also hip-hop way to solve that problem. They're like, hey Jeff, you remember to film this from another angle, right? Ooh. Anyway, they break in, steal some coin, and use full-on breaching charges to explode the glass on the container holding the leprechaun.
Just play that hating on.
And oh, they accidentally shoot Ice-T.
What the?
And of course, this wakes up the leprechaun, so they also shoot him 3,000 times.
Unhand me go.
You get him yet? We got him.
But unfortunately, their guns suck, because neither Ice-T nor the leprechaun actually dies. Does this mean Ice-T is Irish? Does the T stand for tyranny?
Wait, that's Irish.
They should have used the potato cannon. Am I right, Dave? Later at the club, Ice-T needs to take a
Big shit, ugly shit.
So he heads into the bathroom where he smokes a joint with the leprechaun. Now, he knows what the leprechaun is. He's had him in his office for 20 years, but he doesn't seem overly worried about him. In fact, he indulges when the leprechaun grabs his finger and asks a knock-knock joke.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
John Cena.
We knew this was gonna happen.
Then he gets his finger ripped off, which I guess reminds him that, yeah, oh, this leprechaun guy is not the bomb.
The bomb?
Then the leprechaun heads into the main part of the club to be like, hey, I do know Tiger Woods.
You got more loot than Tiger Woods.
But I've inexplicably never heard of rap music.
It's rap.
Rap?
That's what's wrong with y'all big head ass.
And also, I'm gonna kill you, bartender, with the dark side of the force.
Do it.
Patrons voted on this series, and now I hate all of you. And they're gonna try and purge me in the next video I've heard, and they're making me watch stupid stuff. Anyway, sign up, please. The three amigos pawn their stolen gold because remember,
A friend with weed is a friend indeed, but a friend with gold is the best, I'm told.
Well, that's stupid.
and Post blows seemingly silently on the flute, which hypnotizes everybody for a second. It's like a dog whistle for people. No, not the racism kind. What do you call that? We already have whistles for people. They're called whistles, right? I mean, this movie's confusing.
What, man?
And speaking of, here's the second pawn store owner dancing and setting race relations back 30 years.
Y'all know many dances. Y'all do the funky peasant.
Don't do that.
Oh,
But it's fine, because the leprechaun kills him.
y'all get down hard with his bad self.
All is right in the world. Also, the leprechaun confronts the original pawn store owner and is like, give me back my gold. And the guy's like,
Whoa.
I'm literally holding a samurai sword, so...
What gang you belong to? The Shrimps?
That's it, that's the scene. Are samurai swords his weakness? I mean, they are for me, physically and financially. It doesn't matter anyway, because Leprechaun comes up with a workaround. This nasty woman fondles the pawn store owner while the leprechaun hides in the trunk of the car, maybe? Or is he in the nasty woman's nasty womb? Like, usually he is the sexy women that he uses as bait, but this time he's like inside of something?
I have no problem with that.
On a rooftop somewhere, the friends assess their current situation and reveal their Catholicism.
I swear.
Oh God, I fancy a priest.
Ah, Ice-T shows up looking very Protestant.
What's up, little bitches?
No. Shh.
And forcing them to aim for the bushes. They need somewhere to lay low for a while, so they head to a trans woman's house that they know? I mean, they have to pay her, so maybe she's just a prostitute that they know. Like most plot points in this franchise, it's probably best not to dwell on it too much.
You know I like to get my groove on.
They head to the backyard to set up all their equipment.
We need to set up our equipment.
Which apparently means a single boombox and some candles. Unfortunately, the neighbors aren't fans.
Turn that shit off.
And to be fair,
We really suck.
but then Post busts out his flute and now it's a party, which is fun, I am sure. But the whole reason they're here is to lay low, right? Ice-T loves hip-hop concerts. He's drawn to them like a leprechaun to a flute, as they say.
I'm telling you, man, it's magical.
Oh well, I guess you
Do what you gotta do.
And what do you know? The leprechaun shows up, and even though he
Didn't come to play with fruit.
which, woof.
I don't think you're supposed to say that.
Hold your judgment, Dave.
We're about to
Yeah, hold on.
cancel this leprechaun?
No, this leprechaun is about to become very progressive in a disturbing way.
So get your ass up in there.
He has sex with the fruit, but a little too hard, you know?
I don't think you could say that.
Well, he said it, I didn't say it.
Well, that's such a musical way of putting it.
This terrifies the three best friends that anybody could have, so they home alone the leprechaun with a combination douche lube bomb. The boobiest of traps. It actually ends up working so well, I think we're supposed to believe that the leprechaun himself was already covered in douche and lube from his earlier fruit handling experience.
What kind of fruit?
Miss Fontaine.
We already gonna be large.
Hey, let's go check on Postmaster's blind grandma for a minute.
I needed somebody to massage my pussy.
Ah, never mind, that sucks. Let's actually spend the night at the local church. Oh no, the probably Protestant pastor shows up and says, okay, you can hide here, but only if you perform a song for the congregation this morning, which again, confirms this series to be in the God's Not Dead cinematic universe. They say, sure, deal, even though they're legally binding fist bumps, kind of fail. Anyway, of course, the song they choose is something they made up that's like Jesus Loves Me, but like a hood version, which I think I'm allowed to say given the title of this film.
Jesus loves me. This I know. If he don't, I'll find a home.
Yes, please.
Initially, everybody hates it, but then they add a flute.
Jesus loves me. I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
You get to heaven, say hi to my dad.
Which of course makes that shit rip. Every song is improved with a mostly inaudible flute. Here's proof. I bet you didn't even hear the flute in that. But now the song is also a rap, and it's basically about how they're not sure if they believe in Jesus, but regardless, they'd rather do things their own way, which I guess means being terrible at music and stealing and murdering until they acquire a magical flute that makes people think that they're good at music. That is a very specific way to be, but I agree Jesus probably wouldn't recommend it.
Jesus works in a mysterious way. That ain't no answer. We gonna do it our way.
And I would know. I did the music for the first two God's Not Dead movies, as I said. And I will probably have to make a video about that at some point because it is 100% not a joke. But this just doesn't feel like the right time.
The hell if we know.
Hey, let's argue about flutes for a bit.
Man, that's the key to our goddamn coffin.
Until we're attacked by Ice-T.
Finally got your ass.
And Leprechaun. And hey, could they not just blow their way out of this corner right now?
There, we're in a tight spot.
Did somebody say blow?
Like with the flute, not. I guess not, but it's fine because Leprechaun blows Ice-T's associate, nasty, causing Ice-T to scurry like a coward and the boys to hide in an apparently Leprechaun-proof room. Like literally all they do is lock the door, and despite the fact that the Leprechaun just blew a hole completely through a man, the best he can do to this door is like pet it.
What the f you doing?
Eventually he makes a run at the door, but they open it at the last second and they trick him into a safe that may or may not be wrought iron, though there's nothing to suggest that matters anymore, like he's not injured by it. And it also doesn't matter because Leprechaun is still able to summon zombie fly girls. I want to be clear, when I say a fly girl, you might think like a girl who's a fly.
Yeah.
But no, like she's fly. Like hella fly. These are zombie cool girls. Hey Dave, weird question. Can you summon something to kill me?
Zombie cool girls, and you're asking me if I could summon someone to kill you.
Yeah, two thoughts. I mean, if you can get a cool girl to kill me, that's fine. She doesn't have to be cool. She just has to be thorough.
I summon you, me zombie fly girls.
What the f you doing?
Uh-oh.
We can't sample it.
Turns out you can't record the flute to tape, so they're gonna have to bring it with them to the audition, and also a pulpit gun. And the pastor agrees to stay behind and watch the safe with the leprechaun in it in exchange for a share of their Vegas labeled chance whatever earnings. Of course, as soon as they leave, a random sexy woman shows up, and the pastor's like, well, I'd better have sex with her.
Sinful creature.
Until he sees her green eyes and suddenly remembers his Protestantism. But I still would, personally. I mean, she's pretty fly.
I know, right?
Then he's impaled from behind by the leprechaun, which, what is the point of this zombie fly girl if you could just get out of the safe and murder all by yourself all along? Also, what is this recruiting process about?
Does she meet with your approval?
How many fly girls does he have? Why must they be zombies?
She's the bomb.
I think he him to death.
The flute boosted audition goes great, but I wonder why they rap now about hard shit when the flute lets them win no matter what.
I should have stabbed you in the bathroom.
Well, that's such a musical way of putting it.
Couldn't he go back to rapping about being a positive influence and turning his bongs into plowshares or whatever? I guess they're just rapping about how life actually be now. And life, it be rough. But not too rough, because an A&R guy from
Dope Discs Productions
wants to sign them. But two questions. We saw some white boy body parts in jars like 20 minutes earlier. Is that this guy?
Guilty as charged, homeboy.
Or what were those? And second question, we just established that you can't record the flute, and as far as we know, these guys actively suck ass at real music. So unless they intend to play the flute behind every single person who ever listens to their albums, they're not going to be very acclaimed or sell very well. I guess they can still make money off their banging live shows, but even then, who is going to want to go to those when they first listen to that album? I mean, it works for Fish, but for a rap group? Will they just walk around town playing the flute and Pied Pipering attendees to the show? That sounds exhausting.
What if there was an app called Pied Piper that could tell you to a statistical degree of certainty whether you were going to heaven or hell?
It doesn't really matter though, because Leprechaun and his sexy cool women show up and threaten to throw them in his moat.
The crowd were impressed. They loved every note. But how will you sound from the bottom of me moat?
Not the most.
He has a moat? You couldn't think of any other rhyme there, my guy?
It's a defensive position. It's not a river.
They're forced to hand over the flute, but Leprechaun still makes Stray Bullet live out his namesake. Die out his namesake?
No, both. No.
Let's celebrate his beautiful life by dragging him out to a car and dumping his body in it. That's what he would have wanted.
Was it a nice car?
It's okay.
If you put my dead ass in the front seat of a Mazda and kicked it down into a lake or something, that's pretty sweet.
There are worse things.
Late night, big skies, a passenger with green eyes.
Well, let's go home to, I don't know, get murdered by Ice-T there?
Go home.
They need to run away, dude, not go home. But then again, when the Leprechaun inevitably shows up, it's blocked by Blind Grandma, who feeds him Flush-O. And yes, Dave, this is the sexiest scene of all time.
I just came.
Oops, there goes his eyeball. But it's fine, because this was a dream. Double twist, double dream. And it sure looks like, yeah, it's about to be a triple dream. But
it's alright, it's me.
Oh, okay, phew. I thought it was not you. Okay, wait, don't look ahead. You've heard everything to this point in this series. They need to get the flute back. They need to defeat the Leprechaun. What plan would you employ?
Yeah, so I would do like a Dawn of the Dead style like battle bus.
Yeah.
With chainsaws going out the sides.
Yeah.
Get through the cool girl zombies.
Right.
And the Leprechaun, now he's the tricky one. I would write in a line, like, in the script to make him now allergic to wrought iron.
Well, Dave, you're wrong.
Well, shit.
They decided because leprechauns are,
The dark elves of Satan.
as we all know, the only way to take him out will be to cross-dress as women and convince him to smoke a joint full of four-leaf clovers.
That's a good plan, Post.
Now, I see you scoffing back there, but this totally works. And Postmaster almost gets to give the leprechaun a blowjob as a bonus. But the leprechaun falls asleep before he can get unzipped, and like I've said to you hundreds of times, it's not very positive to give a blowy to a sleeping leprechaun or a woman with no hands.
I mean, that's like Bugs Bunny, right? Like where he dresses like a sexy lady.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean?
I started dressing as a woman to trick Elmer Fudd, but I kept dressing as a woman for me.
Also, the other guy wears a headlamp for like 15 straight minutes of runtime here, besides not wearing it at any other point in the movie, nor explaining why he's wearing it now.
Man, what the hell's that around your damn head?
I got a plan, man.
He didn't.
And then it's suddenly not on his head.
On to Vegas, baby.
And he's shot and killed, so maybe the answer is in the subtext. And speaking of answers,
Is the pussy in heaven, Post?
only one way to find out, big guy. Would you die for some sky puss, Dave? Of course you would. Literally just yesterday, he would not stop saying he wanted to burn his crotch off in that sky puss. And it took me like an hour to realize he was talking about the sun.
Oh, hell
Pablo!
But yeah, apparently MC Headlamps was shot by Ice-T.
Come on out, bitches. Mac Daddy wants his flute.
Which is also how I want to go. And now Ice-T and Postmaster just sort of stare at each other, and they're not shooting each other, and they're just, and one of them is repeatedly mentioning how the other one is not gangster.
You ain't no motherfucking gangster.
Doesn't mean you're gay.
I'm not gay.
And eventually Ice-T is like, we should team up to beat up some Irish people, because I have the medallion. And Postmaster is like, blam! Leprechaun shows up, obviously, and obviously Postmaster does a horrific Irish accent.
You'll have to take this flute from me cold, dead hand.
And I know what you're thinking, but no, he was not bit. This is, as Dave describes it, a hood rat way of spitting game. That's what he said.
Did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
He's just intimidating the Irishman to show that he is now, finally, a gangster. I think that's actually what the show Peaky Blinders is based on, is this scene. They just took it and ran with it.
You know the Lep is the real OG.
Peaky Blinder now, son.
And then a not dead, I guess he didn't die, Ice-T gives Leprechaun the chair instead of, you know, placing the medallion around his neck while he's not looking. But oh, maybe it falls on him? And now Postmaster is a famous rapper? No, he's brainwashed by the Leprechaun into being one of his other zombie fly girls because the real gold is in the music industry. Specifically, the part of the music industry where you make all that money doing rap shows in the tiniest, shittiest bars imaginable. But no, I'm kidding. Unless you're Taylor Swift or Sleep Token, nobody gives a shit about your music anymore.
Put your fears to rest.
I should know. I'm a complete musical failure. You should start a YouTube channel, Leprechaun. We're all so rich. Our kids are definitely not starving. It doesn't even matter if anybody joins my Patreon. Hey, you know, I've always wondered if Warwick Davis would make for a decent rapper.
I'm a wee green guy who's new to town. Show me what you do when you get down.
Huh, apparently not.
Wait, he raps in it?
Well, raps is a generous term. He makes noises.
Left in the hood, come to do no good. Left in the hood, come to do no good.
I actually really think I'm onto something with the rap idea. I mean, clearly there's multiple rap movies, so it makes sense. I feel like I need more hip-hop words, you know?
What are hip-hop words?
You know, like shilling or boyo or lass.
Hey, only we can say those.
Oh, you got magic in those little hands.
Looks like we're gonna double down on the hood.
Great.
Yeah. So much so that it's now the hood. How do you say THA? How is that different from the?
Is that like an Irish word?
It's a hip-hop word.
That is problematic for me.
Oh, anyway, apparently the Leprechaun saga has been compiled into book form, and though we flip to chapter 6 of the book, what's first covered is the history of leprechauns. Weird that this book and series would wait until now to explain it this way, and also, if this has truly been 6 chapters of the same story, we should maybe clear up some inconsistencies, yeah?
I was reading earlier, man. Leprechauns is rumored to be bullshit! Bullshit!
Also, why would the one where he's sent to space be chapter 4?
Chapter 4.
This book sucks ass.
And the leprechauns would find their home again, back in Mother Nature's...
And yet technically, it's better than The Winds of Winter by the sheer fact that it exists, even if just fictionally. Something to think about if you're George R.R. Martin.
He's failed to complete The Winds of Winter.
That don't make no sense.
If you're watching, George, I got your ass. Ha ha! Woo! That's what this whole series has been building to. I brought him in with these other videos. George is on the couch.
I guess I overestimate my ability to get stuff done.
Actually, no, what George R.R. Martin spends all day doing is going, what if this was a spin-off of the Game of Thrones TV show? Like, yeah, it's always like he's attached to like 48 different ideas. What if we did a show that was about Littlefinger's prostitute house and we just follow a different prostitute every episode? I don't know. I can't think of anything else.
One day, it will be done.
What then?
According to the person saying things over animation, which is not how books work, there was once a king who had gold, which like, okay, what's your source? Kings don't have gold.
Excuse me? Your father, the king. He has a penny to his name.
And he had a bunch of leprechauns who defended it for him from evil people. Kings are evil. That doesn't make any. But then the king died, as kings do, and I guess his kids all sucked as much ass as this book, so the leprechauns returned from whence they came, except for one mean one who stayed behind to keep the gold for himself, and to spawn a horrific 8-film franchise.
Lep in the hood, come to do
bullshit! Bullshit! Okay, so like even other leprechauns think this dude is an asshole? We've just been following the adventures of Leprechaun Andy Dick.
This is exactly how it is for me.
Not that leprechaun and this leprechaun!
What's up, ninjas?
But that's old news, and the new news is that this drunk reverend inexplicably wanders around a construction site at night and attacks a rainbow with a shovel. What is he like, what is he, Kate Blanchett and Thor Ragnarok trying to smash the Rainbow Bridge? Got his ass too. I'm getting everybody's ass today.
You can't defeat me.
He's attacked by a leprechaun who's like, the rainbow always shows me where the gold is.
The rainbow always points to me.
Peters! You idiot! But then the reverend dumps clover juice on the leprechaun.
Damn clovers.
Which results in him getting dragged to hell. Haha! His ass is also God. And in the span of 2 minutes, this rummed up Rev has been the most situationally aware character in this franchise. Rest in peace, King.
You dropped this.
And now it's a year later in this epic, epoch-spanning tale. And the youth center that this construction site was originally constructing still isn't constructed because they ran out of money.
Yeah, they broke us a motherfucker now.
Because they were building it with leprechaun gold? But where did the gold go?
It's gone.
They killed the leprechaun. Was he literally paying workers with gold coins? Could he not convert them to a currency that one could store in a bank? I guess not. And that's the problem with America today and why we still have so much poverty. Schools aren't teaching enough financial literacy when it comes to gold coins. Sign my petition to bring these lessons to classrooms all over America. We can call it coin reasoning and thinking, or I don't know, CRT for short.
Damn. How come every time something good's about to happen, somebody always gotta go and
ban CRT?
3 such victims of this system are a pothead named Jamie.
I can give massages.
A hot girl named Lisa.
Damn.
And a final girl named Emily.
No.
Jamie, unfortunately, owes money to several men as mean as they are bald. And Lisa's problem is her car sucks ass.
Oh my God.
And Emily's problem is she needs money for college.
What you gonna do with all that cash?
Oh, I'm saving up for college.
Really, every financial hardship is represented here. Oh right, this is a book. Page turn transition. God, I hate reading. I can barely even read the label of what you're drinking, Dave. What is that? What is that, big jug of O'Reilly's semen?
It's Powerade, you illiterate motherfucker.
Well, we've hit that point in the series already. I give up. Nothing matters, nothing makes sense.
O'Reilly's big jug of semen. Why would I drink that?
I don't know, you tell me, dude. I'm not the one drinking it.
Semen.
How many jokes we write? This is a 20,000 word script, not including all the improvised parts.
10,000 words are semen, cum, splooge.
You know how many words for semen I gotta type into this?
It's in progress. I'm working on it.
Uh-oh, the big bald meanies are now accosting a motorcycle boy named Rory just because he's good at selling drugs.
Just making ass meat, man. Honest work, just reward.
Well, if selling drugs is such a crime, then lock my son up. And also, smack a rival drug dealer with Chekhov's baseball bat. Okay, love is dead. Is it weird to say that this guy reminds me of my mother's milk?
It's fine.
No, it is not fine.
Elsewhere, because they've got to make sure they're saving every cent to achieve their financial goals, Emily and Lisa head to a psychic to get their future read harder than I'm reading this movie. This book, the movie book.
No, you're right.
Fortunately, like a billionaire with no tissues nearby, they're about to come into a wad of cash.
You'll come into it very soon.
Which is actually quite a silly action in the absence of procreation.
But unfortunately, the soothsayer says they shouldn't take it.
Wait. Why it got to be denied?
Because, well, she doesn't say, but I think it's safe to assume it's because there are a bunch of gold coins smothered in Irish billionaire cream.
The very fabric of your will be torn apart. It must be denied.
Like I just said, we're hitting that point of the video. The quality of the jokes is directly proportional to the quality of the films being discussed. Elsewhere, Jamie does just the silliest woo I'm high phase.
I love it when you do that.
Do what?
Did anybody read the book?
But then his face falls when he realizes there are 4-leaf clovers in his shit. Now, he still likes the drugs. But I guess he's just worried if he smokes too much 4-leaf, he'll, what? Become an unwilling subject of the English monarchy?
Do I look like a
British subject?
man? I know my rights.
He goes to yell about this to Rory, but forgets the drugs, so the scene ultimately becomes just an excuse for a white guy to say the N-word.
I thought we were cool. No one says that anymore.
Sorry, Dad. My white friends.
My bad, fellas.
Never a wrong time for that. Dave uses every opportunity. If you want to, Dave, I'll let you one freebie.
That is correct.
Now they're all at a party, and then the construction site, because this is a hell of a party, and it's clear that Emily and Rory have some sort of past, but it's nothing a little rainbow dancing can't fix. Oh no, it disappeared! Guess life sucks again. Even worse. But it's cool because she opens a door to some tunnel where she finds a treasure chest full of gold.
Oh,
I mean, not literally, but that doesn't fully discount the theory that the leprechaun puts the coins in people's butts. Like, there's not on the gold, but that doesn't mean that you can't put it in a butt. Okay?
Metaphor!
But because Emily is the moral center of this film, she decides to split the money 4 ways with her dumbass friends, which sparks something of a spending spree montage. Man, I hate to say that the last movie was fun, but compared to this one, it was like visiting Disney World while smoking 4-leaf clovers and chugging big jugs.
Metaphor!
Although, to be fair, Rory does get his penis touched by this nice lady, so that's fun. And not that dissimilar to what happened during my worst visit to Disney ever. Belle was very drunk. Or is it my best? I was of age. I don't want the joke to be weird. So we're just gonna clarify that I went to Disney as a legal adult and a drunken Belle touched my penis. Any objections, prude? At yet another party, Jamie's dumbass friend smokes some weed and pilfers a gold coin left out on a table, and the leprechaun walks in, and they have a really great time together. Maybe Leprechaun is so angry primarily because he just doesn't have any good male friends in his life.
Yeah, you my nigga.
Oh, never mind. Not gonna make a lot of friends that way. Let Dave tell you, it's puff puff pass, not puff puff. But all this male not friendship makes him hungry. So the leprechaun dicks around in the kitchen for just about forever. I could have made another child in the time it takes for the scene to end. And I totally could if you support my Patreon. Let's make a baby together.
Yes, please.
Whoa, random slow-mo. Cops arrest Jamie for all of his pots, and the girl who touched penis gets a gold coin that she stole melted down and made into a tooth, and Emily works one final shift at the salon where they also massage women, which results in a fart. And the leprechaun murder of a random woman.
Oh, you got magic in those little hands.
Which is odd. Then he and Emily fight and she rips out his eye and escapes, which I guess is just a thing in these movies. Like, he loses his eye in almost every single movie.
That's come, innit?
I guess this is what the French orphans who live in the abandoned Blockbuster across from our Wegmans call a motif.
Be a recurring motif.
Or is it just a brilliant setup for this killer line?
Irish eyes will soon be smiling again.
I don't think people say that.
Speaking of motifs and catchphrases, I don't think he's rhymed even once in this movie. God, it's like they don't respect this franchise's legacy, eyes aside. Regardless, here at the film's midway point, the plot is making like Rory's junk when handled by the nice gold-toothed lady and thickening. Emily tells her best buds that she's been attacked by a leprechaun, even though, as I often say in these kind of movies, and as we saw in Leprechaun Returns, just say a weird little guy's trying to steal your money.
I can't spend any more money. It's a weird little guy. And he's after us. He wants his gold back.
He might listen to you then. Calling him a leprechaun makes them immediately dismiss you. Now, if you say it's a little person, they might say,
time to go f up some little people.
Oh. That doesn't feel right either, though. But whatever. Lisa thinks she hears something, so naturally, she checks the cupboards, but finds nothing. But then does find something. I don't know. And she fights the leprechaun for a while until it kills her. Her surviving friends process this tragedy in their own unique ways.
Oh my God.
I can't believe she's gone.
Emily is like, we gotta give that gold back. But Rory is like, oopsie, I sold it. And she's like, you suck, Rory. But should they just sell all of it? Like, does the gold not work a bit like sex in It Follows? Can they just pass it off? I mean, he kills anybody who has the gold, regardless of how they got it. If they just blow their wad at Best Buy right now, not only will he just massacre a squad of useless geeks.
When it comes to tech stuff, there's nothing we haven't seen. Use us.
But good luck with that, because their treasured chest is apparently infinitely refillable.
Gotta love bottomless gold coins.
Oh. Hey, wait, were Rory and Emily married at some point?
Can't believe you let this up.
It was only 4 months ago.
Wait, 4 months ago? Was that prom? Did they have to get married to go to prom together? Man, high school has changed. When I was a kid, you only needed to have a kid together to go to prom, which is why I have 3. I would do a lot of proms. I'm so fertile. Somebody stop me. Oops, the leprechaun is hiding in the bed, and guess what? He and Emily fight. A lot. Until eventually, Rory Chekhov's motorcycle bats and runs over him.
What the hell was that?
To Mexico.
Haul ass and don't stop till we get to Mexico.
Hope they don't get purged. Oh, that joke will make sense later. It doesn't make sense now, but I wrote these scripts in a different order. Get excited. The next video is Purge.
Michael Swaim here, reporting from inside my minimum security garage. I think I'll be all right.
Also, oops, we forgot Jamie, which, hey wait, Jamie was in the last scene, but wasn't he arrested? Did he make bail? Do cops accept gold coins? I don't know. But I do know that leprechauns accept gold teeth, as evidenced by his willingness to wade through shotgun blasts to get him some. Goodbye, nice penis lady. I'll never forget you, nor the cosplay bell. That saucy wench.
Wonderful you have there.
Back to the cops for a sec. You better hope they take coins, because they're pulling you over with some amazing transitional elements. Oh no, they're actually just gonna do some police brutality stuff.
Hey! That is problematic for me.
Until they end up in a fight with a leprechaun, who kills them both, and tears off a leg, and helpfully bites through Rory's handcuffs before Emily also shotguns him 100 times so they could escape. So that's the scene. I hope whoever edits this section did a good job showcasing the highlights in a disorienting montage. But I'm probably the editor for that section, aren't I?
Wow.
They now go back and grab Jamie, I guess. But upon leaving, they're immediately accosted by the mean bald man. But it's fine because a lepra cop shows up, and though they punch him a lot, he punches harder.
Baby, stop.
He punches with the law. His friends say what Sherlock always says when his sidekick f***s up yet another puzzle.
Damn, what's it?
And then they shoot the leprechaun, only for him to pop up and say what Hattori Hanzo used to say every time he entered a room.
What's up, ninjas?
And he kills everybody.
Okay, love is dead.
Run me over with a car.
Okay, love.
Or him, that's fine. Except now he's stuck to the bottom, and the only way to get him off will be to lowride his ass. But now there's tension in the crew. And now that tension is over.
My bad.
This is what professional screenwriters refer to as an act. They go to ask the Saifu, how do we kill him? And she's like,
This creature's only weakness are 2 things. And the 4-leaf clover.
Unfortunately, Jamie still has some of that potato-flavored weed that Rory sold him way back when.
My ninja.
So Rory takes it and makes clover bullets. You think if I shot myself with one of those, I could finally become what I've always wanted to be?
The expert on leprechauns.
Did you think I was gonna say dead? Of course not. I will never die. I'm on YouTube, baby. My soul is already dead. Leprechaun shows up, gets shot, doesn't die, recovers, and to be honest, this happens like 15 more times. Jamie hits him, then gets stabbed. The psychic becomes a witch, but gets out magic. Leprechaun gets kicked off a ladder, but attacks again on the roof, where he's beat to death with a pipe before getting up and being not dead, so they electrocute him in an elevator and throw him in a furnace, and then punch him some more, and shoot him again, and then yet again, until finally they knock him into some concrete, which by all accounts should not kill him, since it's not like Irish are particularly susceptible to concrete. I mean, sure, I've encased more than my fair share of Irish people in concrete, but they're far from the only ethnicity. Regardless, man, this guy is harder to kill than Rasputin, who, fun fact, had a gigantic pocket rocket. Does the Leprechaun? The movie sadly never answers that.
Bullshit! Bullshit!
Anyway, Rory and Emily make up and out, and Jamie is also not dead, and the end of the book you forgot you were reading. You just learned, you dumb bitch.
What?
Okay, so I don't normally do this in videos. I was between Leprechaun in the Hood and Leprechaun Back to the Hood, and I had a theory about it, and I was talking to Dave about it, and I realized maybe Dave is not necessarily
the right guy.
Yeah, the right guy for this. So I thought, what if I reach out to Andrew? So here's my thought. Let's just dive into it. The 5th Leprechaun movie, which came out in 2000, I believe, is called Leprechaun in the Hood. But what's interesting, there's 8 movies in the series, and the only premise that gets repeated is In the Hood and Back to the Hood. My thought is that In the Hood is probably like the most successful one, at least by some metrics, because why would they make a direct sequel? It's not a direct sequel, but they'll repeat the premise. And so my rough, stupid, bad theory that I was running by Dave is I'm in Blockbuster, right? Because this is 2000. I see a movie called Leprechaun in the Hood. I think the shame of bringing that up to the cashier, I think I would feel uncomfortable, that judgment. Maybe I wouldn't. Maybe it'd be fine. But my thought is, it seems more likely that maybe a black audience or black people wandering through the Blockbuster might be more inclined to be like, well, that looks stupid and funny, and nobody will judge me if I'm renting this. Like, why would they? Both of these are ostensibly stoner comedies. The Leprechaun Smokes Pot. To me, it sort of suggested that it was maybe piggybacking on some of this stuff. Half Baked is what you brought up as a stoner comedy. Yes. Just 2 years prior to this. So that's it. My thought is that it's a horror comedy version of some stuff that was already kind of taking off that maybe resonated more with black audiences than white audiences, and Leprechaun probably had no audience most of the time.
There's one person that's possible to blame for Leprechaun in the Hood.
Okay.
LL Cool J.
Okay.
Halloween, H2O, he survives. 99, Deep Blue Sea, he survives. So black characters normally, when they're seen in these horror movies, they normally don't survive. Right. So when H2O comes out, LL Cool J survives. And then he survives again in Deep Blue Sea. Right. And then Leprechaun in the Hood comes out in 2000.
Yeah.
So maybe there's an appeal. Maybe they're just writing this appeal. Like LL Cool J is this popular hip hop character guy who survives in these movies. And maybe we'll get people, sucker people in to buy a bad movie on a Friday night from a Blockbuster,
All the way down, that's what it is, right? They're just, such a crazy string of words to put together that it's the B movie thing of like Spiders on Mars or something, Sharknado. Right. It's not like it's not for white people or something, but it just felt like maybe the target is a little bit more, black audiences. Like they've tried to do, I don't know, maybe white people like space, but it just didn't. Oh, but that was the other thing. To your point about LL Cool J and stuff. I mean, he's still in Jamie Lee Curtis's movie. He's just the security guard, but In the Hood is primarily, the main 3 characters are 3 guys trying to make it as a rap group.
Also, the same year that comes out, Scary Movie with the Wayans brothers come out too.
Okay.
So that's why I'm feeling like there's a piggyback, because you mentioned like stoner movies. Scary Movie was the epitome of a stoner horror movie. So you kind of put the best of both worlds. And I don't know how it works with production studios, how scripts are handed out, but you kind of get the feeling that with that being said, maybe Scary Movie came on somebody's desk and they were like, hey, I don't like this, but what if we put the Leprechaun in instead?
Right.
But for Leprechaun in the Hood, I think it's just piggybacking off of what horror was kind of already doing. Yeah. And they figure like, hey, maybe black people will respond to it. I mean, we responded to Soul Plane.
Well, and maybe to your point, it is not a 1-to-1 of the last movie did well in a bubble, maybe with certain audiences. Let's double down, because that's the other thing too, is it's in the hood, THE, but then it's back to the hood. Yeah, sure. THA. But yeah, they're clearly leaning into that.
Yeah, it's kind of black exploitation. You know, Blackenstein, Black Dracula, or Blackula, whatever the case may be. It was a way for Black people to make these movies, and that they weren't allowed to necessarily make, and kind of make fun and spoof everything because they weren't serious. Like, you know, the boom mics in the shot, the fight choreography is bad. You know, it was meant to be funny, and it turned it, or I guess in a mocking sort of way, and it turned into this genre that people really packed the theaters to go and see. It was, of course, it was frowned upon. You know, I guess the more highbrow types, but it was meant for us, like specifically for us. Leprechaun in the Hood feels like you said, it kind of feels kind of like, should I watch this? It's kind of like,
well, it feels like pandering, I suppose. Like it feels like they've given up on it ever being a broad appeal franchise,
right?
And they're maybe dipping their toes, genuinely or not, into this sort of subcurrent of comedy horror stuff that's going on. To your point about blaxploitation, the very first movie begins with Ice-T in like the 70s in an afro coming in there with his buddy, and you know they do a thing and they fight the leprechaun, and then it jumps 20 years to the late 90s. It started in that sort of what I would think of as sort of the main era for blaxploitation.
Jason in Goes to New York is a funny thing, and it's simply because, you know, he fights the one brother in the movie, and the dude decides he's a boxer, and he gives Jason his best, and then, you know, Jason just knocks his head up, and we laugh senseless at stuff like that. Sure. But it also felt like the movies that they did come out, the appeal was to see how a Black character would survive in a horror. That's the main appeal. Like majority of people, like how, because we all remember and it's not a stereotype. We talk to the screen.
Okay.
We talk to the screen.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
You know, so now imagine, and we always say, well, if a Black person was in this is what we would do.
Right.
We're gonna put multiple Black people in this movie against this villain. How would they react? Because we are often screaming at the screen and yelling to the white protagonists, like, I would go here, I would have done this, I would have done that.
Right.
So there is an appeal to say Leprechaun in the Hood. Let's see.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure someone's going to watch this and be like, you guys are missing probably like 5 or 6 things.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I mean, quite literally, I have Premiere open and I was watching myself, and I was like, I'm actually interested in this. I want to talk to somebody who has maybe a different perspective on this than Dave and myself. So they probably were just in the same way that they're chasing the gritty reboot craze. They were just chasing probably the Scary Movie or just sort of all of this stuff crazy. Like, that movie's doing well. That movie's doing well. Or like that movie is being made on a budget that we can handle. I bet we got this stupid legacy Leprechaun thing. What if we just shove that into this? And then it does well enough because of who knows, variety of factors. Greenlight another one, and then too many people were burned by the terrible one before it, and then they killed the whole thing. Well, awesome. This has probably been severely edited, so if you want to watch this whole thing, I'm going to throw up on my Patreon. You're going to throw up on your Patreon. Where do you want people to find you?
Real quick, Middle Show Podcast is a sports podcast. So if you like sports, you want to hear, 3 guys talk about sports and not take it too seriously. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter at MIPod69. We're on YouTube at /MIPodTV.
Thank you. I will see you later, and I'm going to go back to probably a 2 to 3 hour video about freaking Leprechaun.
I don't know, man. I have watched like every Leprechaun now, and I still don't get it. It's too confusing. It's too all over the place.
Well, you haven't seen the entire series yet.
Fine. If I told you the WWE was behind a Leprechaun reboot, what would you expect the overall vibe to be? Goofy, over the top, basically just a heightened and hopefully better version of what we've already gotten, right? But no! Leprechaun Origins, the direct sequel to X-Men Origins Wolverine, is entirely serious. This is the gritty reboot that I've just been begging for. Oh, every day I'm emailing the WWE, being like, give me a gritty reboot of Leprechaun. Please, God.
Thank you, God!
And to prove that, here are some people running through the woods from some unseen animalistic creature. It bites their fingers off.
Something's missing! Something's missing, all right.
And POV, you're a crazy Irish mutant dragging a sexy lady through tall grass to her death. And also, do you have gold vision? And also your name is Hornswoggle? And you were once known as, quote, the world's sexiest midget?
Hey, Hornswoggle, say hello to your dad!
Wow, this is gritty.
What a hallmark moment!
Anyway, cold open over.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
4 young people ride in the back of a shitty Irish truck along with, what is that?
I knew it.
Unfortunately, the Irish driver is too much of a gold-bellied coward to drive them any closer to the village they're traveling to.
Do you mind driving us another 15 minutes into the village?
No.
So they have to hoof it on foot, which is scary because this field has dirty old Irish people in it. Also, dirty old Irish dick rocks. Dildos of the gods, if you will.
Whoa.
An Irish penis.
There must be some mistake.
They head to a pub where the final girl, Sofia, is like, I'm getting a master's in history, but I may put it on hold for my boyfriend.
Really?
Because our relationship is a little controlling, even though I've
wanted to get your master's in history since you're like 2, Soph.
You could do your master's of history thesis just on...
And a very thick with 2 C's Irishman sitting nearby is like, I couldn't help it over here. Nope, I'm not gonna do it.
Hamish McCumber.
The stylish house frame furniture. And
Did you know those big rock dicks actually are godlike in nature? You were right about that. And this place is probably the cradle of Celtic civilization, which is to say, it's where alcoholism was invented.
It's good, very close.
Anyway, do you guys want to come stay at my secret special woods cabin? My weird-ass son will drive you there if you'd like. And they're like, sure, I guess. And even that guy was probably thinking, wait, really? Just like that damn lady? You have the survival instincts of a potato hiding from hungry Irishmen in a whiskey barrel. Am I right?
It's good, very close.
Except again, so...
Is this thing on?
No respect. No respect.
Except again, Sophie's controlling boyfriend is unsupportive, like, no, I don't want to spend the night in some strange Irish person's cabin.
Too bad, buddy.
God, this is like Midsummer all over again.
I'm doing my thesis on this.
you kidding me?
I know.
But eventually he caves. For love! And while they chestily bounce their way to the cabin, the Thickman provides a little more backstory about how they opened up a gold mine once, but now it's closed. I'm like, whoa, slow down with the gripping storytelling there, Tolkien. Anyway, here's the cabin, and let me tell you, just like Dave's mom...
She's solid. On the inside.
Don't ask me why Dave told me that.
Yeah.
As they walk up, there's some rustling, and the Thickman fires a couple shotgun rounds at the noise.
Goodbye, Mom.
Sorry about all that.
And he's like, it's fine. That was just a wild hog. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. And like, that's very concerning.
It get pretty nasty. Anyway.
There are wild hogs crazy enough to attack gaggles of humans in broad daylight, and they have to be scared off with shotguns? If that's true, will they even be able to wander around and look at rock dicks later tomorrow? I hate trying to look at dicks while being attacked by hogs. We'll leave the bukkake joke out. I feel like we're overselling that. It's just, you know, the problem with Dave is I'm so fertile.
Yeah, I know. That's why you have the Patreon, because you're saving up for your vasectomy.
No knife can cut through this hog.
Man, stupid dull-ass night.
I would just hate being attacked by hogs, like, full stop.
Dave's been in that situation more times than he can count, and let me tell you, he did not like it.
Hello, sir.
And of course it doesn't matter because these sexy teens are stripping and having oh no, they're not? Sophie's boyfriend, I guess, is feeling a little gay tonight.
Do you really think you could give all this up?
I'm reading.
And the other guy, David, is feeling a little Irish.
David.
The only reason you would not have sex with a woman is if you're gay, Dave. That's my understanding of it.
I think it sounds interesting.
So later that night, David's horny girlfriend, Jenny, hears something and then sees something very Irish skitter by the window.
David, wake up! David!
And while David thinks it's
chickens and shit.
That's a bad combo.
They quickly realize they're locked in the house from the outside, so they're almost certainly being sacrificed to the secret cabal of wild hogs that actually runs Ireland. Honestly, I can't even I can't even believe I'm telling you this. This will probably be my last video before they catch me and they poke at me with their tiny wild Irish tusks, but that's how important the truth is to me. Sign up for my Patreon for more truth about the wild hogs that run Ireland. Somebody's gonna sign up literally for that and be like, what, this is just a bunch of stupid shit about movies.
I wanted to know the truth.
I'm here for the truth.
It's only a matter of time before they rise up and march behind this radioactive teleporting Neo-Hog.
Although, okay, in this instance, I guess they're being attacked by a critter with hands who pops out of a weird hidey hole in the wall and rips out Jenny's gold earring and then just starts going hog wild everywhere.
It's a human pig!
Eventually, they escape out the very same hidey hole and run for the main house, but not before David gets bit pretty bad. Sophie's boyfriend and Jenny heroically leave him for dead. Hey! But Sophie distracts the leprechaun with fire because I guess it actually has full-on heat vision? Why would a leprechaun have heat vision? And they all manage to break into the property's main house and close the door behind them. And let me tell you, friend, they close a lot of doors in this movie. Really, every possible door gets closed. So if you like critters scrabbling at closed doors, oh my, you are in for a treat.
What the fuck was that?
I'm loving this.
They use car batteries to light up the exterior of the house, and they look for a phone inside the super creepy basement that's full of clothes and shoes and glasses and cell phones and basically other discarded items from previous leprechaun victims. And why are they being sacrificed to a leprechaun?
This is what happens when you take its gold.
But you don't just abandon your home because it's being plagued by a murderous leprechaun for decades and decades.
Now, you don't abandon your home just because the times get tough.
I mean, yes. 5 seconds later, they open up a book that suggests the leprechaun is bounded geographically to a pretty small area near the gold mine that apparently woke it up or whatever.
Then what, the leprechaun won't go past the stones?
I mean, sure, there are literally zero economic opportunities in this town because anybody who comes to visit gets murdered by hogs and leprechauns, and the gold mine is no longer functional, but heritage, not hate. Am I right? And I know this all sounds stupid, but
they put us in this cabin. They locked us in there to sacrifice us to a leprechaun.
I mean, it's my American right to do it.
Okay, well, when you put it like that, it's like, what could anybody in this town possibly do for work? Anybody who comes, they sacrifice the pig leprechaun man who lives in the woods.
There must be some mistake.
And in case you were wondering, yes, the leprechaun hog thing likes gold, but also it eats people.
They're still alive. That means it hasn't fed.
So the gold thing is unnecessary, right? It's sort of like if Michael Myers was murdering all the teens in town, but also, just so you know, he's a big fan of bowling. Whether you are or are not bowling doesn't affect his intentions to kill you, really. Stop it! But if you're holding a bowling ball, stop it! Maybe he'll kill you harder or like before the other people. Stop it! He's eating people. It doesn't matter if he likes gold. I don't know, but the kids grab weapons.
Everybody grab something.
Though the Irish son and daddy have shotguns, so... But oh no! Either a leprechaun or a wild hog starts rooting upstairs and their third friend disappears, so the dad decides to hunt the leprechaun by himself? Why? What's he gonna do if he catches it?
I'm a dog chasing a leprechaun. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
Shouldn't he just push out the kids and be like, hey, Mr. Leprechaun, here's your sacrifice. I hope it satiates you. I'm gonna go home to drink various alcohols. But no, he's out there trying to distract it with a red flare since its vision is based on, you know, self-referential movement.
His vision is based on
penis! And his pussy son lets the kids go. They flag down an old Irish lady, and I tell you, I would not stop for these kids unless I was, like all Irish people, a traitor. And oh, look at that, she's a traitor.
Now just stay tight here.
Did you know that Judas was Irish? The Pharisees paid him in silver shillings, actually.
Nice hands.
Anyway, we've got yet another standoff, but this time the kids actually make a move and get their asses kicked. Sophie in particular gets her clock cleaned. And when she wakes up, they're tied to trees with like little golden things dangling from them. And that's what the Irish people should have done in the first place, I think. Way simpler than like, hey, you wanna hang out in my cabin? And like, oops, it's locked. And B, are they appeasing this thing with food and gold? Like, does it need those paired like a nice wine and cheese?
You guys might My earring was gold.
Like your fat, juicy butt.
It's weird to be like, he's hungry and he's greedy.
This is what happens when you take its gold.
He gets hungry.
Would he not eat them if they didn't have gold on their person? He ate the third Irish guy earlier. Was he wearing gold? Did he have gold fillings? A gold coin shoved between his butt cheeks? These are the questions we need answered, movie. But anyway, the leprechaun looks rough. And he rips out Jenny's tongue ring and slashes David's tummy and tummy area so hard it actually frees him long enough to free everybody else before getting eaten himself. And even though they're fully aware that all they need to do to escape is run a relatively small distance away, which they could do because he's eating David right now, I guess Sophie wants revenge.
Because we're gonna kill it.
But how? I mean, she knows literally nothing about it other than it might be magic, and maybe it's a hog.
We just need to find a way to lock it from the outside once it's inside.
Yeah, that's fine, because they're gonna trick it back through the hidey hole from earlier with some dangling gold and smash it with an axe, except, whoops.
Oh, whoops. Whoopsie.
It looks like Jenny came through that hole first. Should have turned off friendly fire first, huh?
What the hell are you doing?
Sophie's now like, never mind about the killing thing. Let's just run away. Sophie sees the dead third Irishman and decides that the keys are on him.
We have to get the keys from him.
Him.
Anyway, Smeagol, but with less sex appeal, attacks.
Smeagol wants to see them. Dead.
So they make a run for the keys in slow-mo, but Sophie is really yucked out by this dead guy.
Oh, girl, you nasty.
Smeagol's in the truck now anyway, so they're forced back into the house, where they close the door, which I love.
I am loving this.
But oh shit, it doesn't work, and Sophie's boyfriend gets his whole ass ripped out his back.
Don't break my butt!
Hey, how many people does this leprechaun need to eat before he, I don't know, falls back asleep or whatever? Earlier in the film, the Irish son is like, I can't believe we're feeding it 4 people. And the dad is like, well,
maybe if we increase our offering, we can buy us some lenience.
If, we are only able to trick one skinny guy into the woods. So it's already established that 4 is a lot of food, and yet he's now eaten at least 4 people, right? Is he just like Dave at an all-you-can-eat buffet? He knows he should stop, but he just can't because legally they can't stop him from eating since he already paid, and even though it might kill him, he's gonna get his money's worth.
Oh, you got
Or his gold's worth, right? Because I guess he cares about gold, the leprechaun, and Dave probably.
A smorgasbord of gold coins.
Is he getting enough gold from this massacre tonight? Does that even actually factor into this movie? Or is it just they could have put any creature here? They just chose a leprechaun.
Spooky, scary.
I don't know. But Sophie runs into Irish dad and son, and the son is like, Dad,
you're gonna shoot a girl, dog.
Girls hate that stuff.
You really do.
Which is pretty sexist. I think we should be allowed to shoot anybody we want without discriminating based on things like gender or sex appeal. That's the American way of doing things.
I mean, it's my American right to do it.
I don't know what these pussy Irish are doing, not shooting women.
That's their problem, it's not ours.
But they scuffle and Dad falls down the stairs and gets eaten. Even though the leprechaun knows he's gonna go straight to his thighs. That big Irish guy is gonna give him big leprechaun thighs.
You cannot eat
Potato Man.
It will go down your throat and drop instantly to my thighs.
This does make the Irish son sad, but can he move now? Even just like a couple miles down the road? I mean, he should really consider it. Well, Sophie's gonna move at least, and she reaches the truck again and drives away, except Nosferatu is in the back and then the top, so she proves why you should always wear a seatbelt.
You wearing a seatbelt?
No. What?
And man, he's pretty messed up after a relatively low-key accident. You're telling me this thing has been attacking for like 1 billion years or whatever, and nobody has come up with a counter more powerful than a low-speed truck accident? And then 5 minutes later, she finds some gold coins, hucks them in the air, and then whole ass chops the leprechaun's head off. Guys, that was so easy. You all are idiots. You've been feeding it gold and tourists for like decades, and all you had to do was attack it. Just hit it with a machete. You have shotguns. Just shoot it one time. Whatever. She staggers past the territorial dick rock when, oh no, it looks like there are actually a ton of leprechauns attacking. Do you think one of them is Warwick Davis? Is that where the origins part of this movie title comes into play? Man, what a twisted web the Irish weave.
It's good, very close.
Oh my God, I've got it. Babe! Babe! Babe!
For you, my lass, I cross see. I followed you across the centuries, filled caves with gold, but they remain empty and cold. Screamed at the void, but heard back nothing. I'm a leprechaun, I'm a wee leprechaun. Lie with me, love, until we're bleeding. I'm a leprechaun. I ran through clover, broke iron, chased down the rainbow, walked through the fire, sang verse and rhyme, peered through the folds of time. Her chain around my neck, I expire. I'm a leprechaun, I'm a wee leprechaun. Lie with me, love, until we're bleeding. I'm a leprechaun, I'm a leprechaun, I'm a wee leprechaun. Lie with me, love, until we're bleeding. I'm a for tonight is full of killings.
That was good. Thanks, babe. I think it's locked. I'll just open it. You come down. I mean, I'll just open it. What? It's not even gold.
I was trying to tell you, times have been hard.
It's not even gold color.
Yeah, pandemic really cleared me out. Job market for leprechauns? Feckin' shite.
Well, you know what I would say. You should start a Patreon.
Oh, that's a great idea.